Okay, if everyone could take a seat, please, we're going to begin. Calling this meeting to order, 6:30 p.m. Mauricio.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner Vizcarra?
Here.
Commissioner Stuyvesant? Here. Commissioner Joseph?
Here.
Vice Mayor Lama?
Here.
Mayor Svechin?
Here.
All members present.
Okay, great. Let's see. Would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Wait, just let everyone stand up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I believe we have an invocation from the chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and I'm hoping to make Rabbi Barron and Keller proud tonight. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Before I begin the invocation, let us observe a moment of silence to honor the lives lost on New Year's Day in an utterly senseless act of terrorism and violence, as well as to remember all those impacted by the fires in California. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble hearts, asking for your wisdom to guide our elected officials as they make decisions in the best interests of all they represent. Grant them the spirit of knowledge and truth that they may base their decisions on honesty and fairness. We also ask, Lord, that you protect all those who safeguard the freedoms we cherish as Americans. Remind us that the liberties we enjoy come at a significant cost, and we must never take them for granted. We pray for the strength, courage, and wisdom of our protectors as they may continue to stand vigilant in the face of evil, ensuring the safety of our children, our schools, and our community. We ask all of this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chief.
I hope you don't mind.
Please.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize someone important. I wasn't able to include this on the 3 p.m. agenda as this individual is responsible for approving those memos. Therefore, I'm respectfully bringing it up now. Good evening. It is my honor today to present a very special award to someone whose leadership, vision, and unwavering support have made a profound impact on our police department. City Manager Stan Morris, your dedication to the safety and well-being of our community is unmatched. Over the years, your commitment to supporting our officers and the various initiatives we implemented have been invaluable. You have consistently recognized the challenges we face and have worked tirelessly to provide the resources and backing needed for our department to succeed. Whether it's advocating for improved equipment, securing necessary funding, or simply being a steadfast ally during times of need, your support has helped us strengthen our department and ultimately serve our city better. On behalf of the entire police department, some of them are here tonight, I am proud to present you with the Chief's Special Recognition Award. This award symbolizes not only your dedication to public safety, but also your collaborative spirit and the lasting partnership between our department and the city. Stan, thank you for being a true champion of our work and for always putting the safety of our residents first. This recognition is well-deserved, and we are grateful for all you do. Congratulations. Come on up, please. Lastly, I have to recognize our elected officials again because we wouldn't be where we're at without their continued support also.
Thank you. First of all, I don't like surprises, as you know, so
I don't think any of us knew either. So.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to recognize the men and women of the police department. I'm proud to be associated with them, and I consider this the greatest accomplishment of my professional career. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Thank you, Chief. Thank you to all the officers that are here. It would be amazing if you all came to all of our commission meetings. I feel very safe right now. We have a few changes to the agenda. Or do you want to do the approval of the minutes first, Mauricio?
So the item 3A is the approval of the minutes of the November 21st City Commission meeting.
Need a motion, please?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we are making some...
Hold on, Mayor, the opening message.
Oh, please, go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your attendance and thank you for joining us tonight. Before we begin, there are a few important reminders regarding conduct during our commission meetings. Please ensure all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode to maintain the integrity of our proceedings. Mutual respect is the foundation of productive discussions. We ask that everyone remain silent and attentive when someone is addressing the commission. Clapping, applauding, heckling, or any verbal outbursts, either in support or opposition of the speaker, are strictly prohibited. Any individual wishing to address the commission must fill out a public speaker's card and submit it to the city clerk before the relevant item is announced. Each speaker is granted a maximum of 3 minutes. Should you exceed this time, the chair will notify you to conclude your remarks. Speak directly to the agenda's points. Remain concise and avoid redundancy. Should an individual speak without the chair's permission or continue speaking after a warning, they may be escorted out of the chambers. It is essential to avoid making impertinent, slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the commission. Such behavior may lead to being barred from future commission appearances, unless the majority of the commission members present vote otherwise. The presiding officer may disallow signs or placards in the commission chamber. Please exit the chamber quietly and without disruption. The goal of our meetings is to facilitate public input and participation. However, disruptive or disorderly conduct hinders our collective objective. Individuals who want to speak on an item on the agenda are asked to fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. Speakers are asked to speak to the issues, make comments concise and to the point, and refrain from making duplicate comments. All speakers will be limited to 1 3-minute comment per item. If you exceed the 3-minute allotment, the chair will advise you to finish your comment. If you speak out of turn without permission from the chair and/or you do not cease speaking after 1 warning, you will be escorted out of chambers. In order to maintain orderly conduct and/or proper decorum at these meetings, anyone who interferes with the orderly process of the meetings after a warning may be removed from the meeting and may be barred from further appearance before the City Commission, as permitted in S-286, 0114, FS and SS 74-5 and 74-21 of the City's Code of Ordinances. Any necessary removal will be made at the direction of the mayor and will be carried out by law enforcement or a designated sergeant at arms. It is essential that attendees adhere to these rules of procedure to ensure productive meetings that serve both the public and the City Commission. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
Thank you. I just want to say before we continue, Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Since we do have changes to the agenda, I just encourage you to please pay attention to the changes we're making so that in case you wanted to speak on an item. So changes are, we are deferring 5C, 5D, and 9A, and we are revising 9D, 9H, 9T, and 9U. Are those changes up front?
Yes, they are, ma'am.
Okay.
And then we're also adding one more, which is a motion based upon the discussion that was had earlier this afternoon on the legislative priorities. So a motion to direct staff to formalize those into a resolution.
Okay, and where are we putting that on the agenda?
Section 10,
Okay.
motions.
All right, I need a motion to accept these changes.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, Mauricio.
Okay, so tonight's agenda has 2 zoning items. Mayor, if you'd like to read your opening statement.
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's agenda has 2 zoning applications in these matters. The commission sits in a quasi-judicial capacity. The decision of whether or not to approve a zoning variance is not a popularity contest, but must be based upon substantial, competent evidence as it is presented tonight. If you intend to provide testimony on any zoning application, you must be sworn in by the city clerk, and you should also fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. We will first hear from the city staff and then from the applicant. After this, I will allow anyone from the audience who has been sworn in to provide testimony. The zoning applicant has the right to cross-examine any witness and for rebuttal. Please make your comments concise. Mr. City Clerk?
Okay. In accordance with the LDRs of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, all items to be heard today have been legally advertised in the newspaper. Notices have been mailed and posted on the properties. All persons wishing to speak at this hearing, please raise your right arm to be sworn in. All public speakers as well. You have requested, right? For this item specifically. So do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Okay, so the first item is the zoning application submitted by La Playa Beach Associates for a site plan modification of the St. Regis residences. The property is located at 18801 Collins Avenue. And before we have staff present, are there any ex parte communications that need to be disclosed? And if so, please mention the nature of those discussions.
Yes, I did. I spoke with the applicant
Okay, and about
the two of the items that,
Okay.
about zoning, yeah.
I also spoke with the applicant. He wanted to know if I had any questions, about the project.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I spoke with the applicant about the scope of the change.
Thank you. Commissioner, you did
Myself
as well? With the same topics?
Yes.
Yeah, Mayor,
As did I.
as well. Okay, thank you. Amy?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. The first application on tonight's agenda is PZ 2024-07. This is for the St. Regis residences. The applicant, La Playa Associates, is the owner of the property and developer of the project, the St. Regis residences, which was formerly known as La Playa. Let's see if the clicker works. Okay. They have requested a site plan modification. The project is located at 18801 Collins Avenue, and the modification will decrease the project density from 490 to 361 residential units and adjust some of the project's program spaces, such as reducing the number of cabanas from 17 to 14, reducing the number of guest suites from 13 to 10, decreasing the size of the beach bar and grill from 5,200 square feet to 4,207 square feet, reduce the size of the public restaurant from 8,462 square feet to 7,193 square feet, and convert 1,068 square feet of residential amenity area to commercial use.
If you can speak up just a little
Sure,
bit,
sorry.
Commissioner Joseph can't hear.
And finally, to add 1 level of below-grade parking to Tower 2. Okay. So to touch on the project's history, it was originally approved in 2015 as a dual tower project at 56 stories tall with 431 condominium units, 60 hotel units, and 90 apartment hotel units. And the total floor area was 1,228,435 square feet, and that is the maximum square footage allowed in this zoning district, utilizing all of the FAR bonuses and TDR purchases available. The project was modified in 2016 to remove that hotel component and add some more commercial uses, such as a restaurant, office space, and retail. The project was then modified again in 2022 to increase the height of the project to 62 stories, change the exterior design a little bit, and change some of that interior programming again. For instance, a private members club was added, the restaurant square footages were amended, and residential amenities such as cabanas and guest suites were also added. Of note, this required a shared parking agreement among the uses in order to meet the required number of parking spaces. Today, the proposed modification decreases the number of residential condo units, which therefore decreases the amount of parking required, so that shared parking agreement is no longer applicable with this modification. On the screen is one of the diagrams in the plan set that staff reviewed to understand the distribution of residential towers in the units. The reduction in density was accomplished by enlarging and combining some of the units. The proposal is to have 181 units in the South Tower, or Tower 1, and 180 units in the North Tower, or Tower 2. The proposed floor area ratio remains the same at the maximum allowed. In 2022, the approved plans had impermissibly excluded floor area from those FAR calculations. That floor area was located on levels -2 through level 2. The total area excluded was 24,369 square feet. And upon submittal of the current site plan modification, this exclusion was revealed and corrected. So the current plans grandfather this previously excluded square footage. In doing so, the applicant submitted a full floor area analysis, such as what is showed on the screen, which compared the 2022 approval to the current plans proposed. Staff reviewed this and finds that the proposed floor area is consistent with the land development regulations. So one final item that is proposed is condition number 10 in the staff report and in the resolution used the standard code language for the term of the site plan approval, which states that the approved site plan shall remain valid for a period of 24 months and requires that a building permit must be issued within those 24 months. However, the applicant received approval in 2022 for an extended time frame to pull a permit from 24 months to 72 months. Because this is a new modification tonight with a new approval, it restarts the clock for that validity of the site plan approval. So the applicant would like to have the condition modified to the approved site plan shall remain valid for a period of 60 months from the date of the site plan modification approval, provided that a building permit is obtained for the South Tower within 24 months. With that, staff finds that the site plan modification is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the land development regulations, and we recommend this application to the commission for consideration.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, I just wanted to add to Amy's comments. We had numerous meetings with the developers, and I wanted to thank Amy, especially for time over the holidays, working to review it. After numerous meetings and going back and forth, I can say that we support the project and appreciate all the work that was done to present to you.
Great, thank you. The applicant want to say anything?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Ian DeMello with the Shubin Law Group, 100 Southeast 1st Street. On behalf of the applicant, La Playa Beach Associates, LLC, joined this evening by the Fortune International Group, represented by Eduardo Emery, and the Chateau Group, represented by Manuel Grosskopf. We also have our architect this evening, Architectonica, represented by Chica Yamada. We did have a short presentation, but honestly, we'd also like to thank staff and everyone here at the city for the work that they've done. Amy's presentation really covered it all for us, so we'll just remain available for questions if you have them. As you know, the project has commenced, it's underway. We're expecting to get our master permit in October, and yeah, we're available to answer any questions you have.
Do we have any public speakers?
We do, ma'am.
Okay, let's start with that.
The first speaker we have is Nir Gavra.
Good evening. Your name and address for the record, please, and speak close to the microphone. Sometimes hard to hear.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here. We have some concern. I'm representing
name and address for the record, please.
Nir Gavra. I'm representing M Residence. It's 18683 Collins Avenue, which is the building right next door.
Thank you.
And I mean, like the board of director, I'm the hotel operator, so I'm really more concerned about like the fact that there is I mean, the project is being worked on for like, I would say a year and a half, and some of the owners concerned about like, like the fact that they are drilling and going into the ground, and like obviously like due to like what happened in Surfside a couple years ago, that's a concern. So they want to know some question they had. So I want to. We want to ask the LaPlaya if there is any underground parking area planned for Tower 1. If so, how deep below existing ground elevation? The second question is, Morenas is concerned with the proximity and the deep adjacent to our property and the possible effect to our structure. What instrumentation is the St. Regis installed or will be installing to ensure the integrity of the adjacent structure? And will be the information, the monitoring they have, will kept shared or kept private? And also, what concern do the St. Regis structural engineers have so far, a potential effect to the adjacent properties? That's the main questions, and I'd like to get some answers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We normally don't go back and forth, but I think these are valid questions if somebody would like to stand up and respond. Do we have any other speakers?
We do.
Oh, let's go with the other speakers first.
Next speaker is Dr. Joseph Levine.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I live in the Armani building. I'm one of the board members. I'm also a physician scientist, and I also did a lot of geology and schooling, so I have a science background. My main concern, some of them are crossing with the last speakers. Although the study from the University of Miami was an initial study, it was peer-reviewed, so anybody who says it wasn't reviewed is wrong. It didn't show consequence, but it showed effect, and it showed effect of vibration and construction at distances up to 800 feet. So my concern has nothing, I have no concerns whatsoever, change anything interior, we wish you well, and we hope the project is very successful. It will raise all of our properties. My main concern is going an extra 15 to 20 feet down could adversely affect the water table, which was thought to be important in that study, and also would increase deep vibrations, and the deep vibrations cause liquefaction of the sand layers and may affect the bedrock or the sandstone bedrock. Having been in New York for many years, I talk about granite bedrock, but sandstone bedrock. And so there's significant risk in a community where you guys are well aware some of the buildings are, forget about subsidence, which if it's even, it's not such a big deal, but you know of several buildings in the community that are tilting. And so that we're concerned as owners and as property owners about going deeper for a garage that's an add-on now. That's really the main concern. And if you are going to approve it, what security do you give the owners of Ocean 3, of Porsche, of Armani Casa, any of the buildings within 800 feet of the construction site? And that's really the issue. So specifically, has an environmental study been done? Specifically, is there an updated geotech report that looks at the effects of going deeper to decide whether or not there's going to be any adverse effects to the other surrounding buildings, which you guys are responsible for as well? Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have other speakers?
That's the last one.
That's the last one. Okay. I'd like to hear from the commission first, and then we'll have the applicant come up and address some of those questions.
If I can just point out also that, just to reiterate the fact that what you have before you tonight is the modification of the site plan. This site plan, this project has already been approved. So the construction, so that there is a site plan going that's already done. That's
right. So the questions would be limited to the modification.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Vice Mayor, you want to start? Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions regarding the actual item that's on the agenda. Regarding some of the questions that, some of the people that came up, I'm not sure. I mean, it's your decision if the applicant would like to come up.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
we can address some of those if they're consistent with what we're talking about now. Commissioner Viscar, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I think we've, I know there was a lot of back and forth on this matter, and I'm glad that, we were able to find that compromise where we could move forward. I was very happy to see I never seen the physical plans before. And I want to thank you for including the widening of the sidewalk that I had hoped you would throw in there. So thank you for that, because we need that. Thinking about our pedestrians, it's not just about the buildings, but the people who are going to live in them. So I was very happy with the sidewalk. I know that there's a lot of work that went into this, so on the city and on both sides. So, I mean, if we're not getting any flags, I'm okay with it.
Joseph?
So I'm actually fine with the modification. I wish everyone well, and also I'm happy to see the widening of the sidewalks. We absolutely need that. This will be one of very few sidewalks that we have that are of a width that people can actually walk and feel safe. As far as the safety issues and the buildings, I know the mayor has spoken, saying that our buildings were safe and all. She's gone maybe a little further than I would, being that I'm not a geologist or anything such as that I could actually say that and put the put the city at risk. But I'm sure La Playa has the right people looking at the geology and is confident with their construction, and in that regard, I feel confident as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Stuyvesant?
Yeah, I know that they've been working with zoning for many months, back and forth. So Amy did a very good presentation and explained that. Also, the fact that they're eliminating 129 units, which is going to decrease the density of the building, is something that is very positive for our residents. Less traffic, less need of parking, etc. I've been familiar with the changes, so I don't have any questions, and hopefully I wish the best for everybody, so that's it.
Any napkins? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I agree with what everyone has said. I really appreciate the changes because it's always nice to have less density. And I appreciate anyone that comes out to speak about these things, because we understand, and I think most of us, if not all of us, were here for all those buildings that you have mentioned, the Porsche, the Armani, and it's never fun to be living next to a construction zone. I have the same experience. I live in a house, and the house next to me has been being built for, feels like 10 years. So I can appreciate that, but I also don't want to ignore what you're asking. So anything that is relevant to the changes that we're talking about today, if someone from the applicant side, or if Amy, you feel more comfortable addressing some of those, either one of you. Not the original site plan, but the changes that you're seeking, if any of those questions are relevant to that.
So again, Ian DeMello, respectfully, none of the changes really impact anything that was done before. I mean, these are pretty much the same exact thing that we're doing underground. We are adding one level to a tower, but we're not going any deeper than we were before for the prior approval. Mm-hmm. In addition, these are developers who've been working in the city for over 20 years. They own property here. They have a stellar reputation. We hire all the appropriate professionals, and we continue to be open to working with the city in case any issues do arise or any concerns do arise. But we do rely on our professionals to give us the advice on how to proceed in these matters.
Great, thank you. Okay, with that, I'll take a motion. Need a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The application is approved.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item is 5B, request of La Playa Associates for conditional use approval, variances, and a site plan approval for a temporary off-site sales center located at 18590 Collins Avenue. And are there any ex parte communications for this application?
The same, yes.
The same as the previous application?
Previous one, yes. Mhm.
Yes.
All 5?
No.
The same for me.
Okay, so, thank you.
Okay. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, this is application PZ 2025-01 for the St. Regis Sales Center. The applicant, La Playa Beach Associates, is a developer of the St. Regis residences, and they are requesting approval to allow the construction of a one-story temporary sales center that will be used for marketing and events to promote and sell units for the project. I think this is working now. Okay. The sales center will be constructed on the city-owned property located at 18590 Collins Avenue, which is zoned B1 Neighborhood Business District. The city approved a lease agreement with the applicant via an ordinance last year, and this is a corner lot fronting Collins Avenue and 186th Street. It is just north of the Navarro property and catty-cornered northeast of the spot. Okay, here's the proposed site plan. On the top of the screen is Collins Avenue, and to the left of the screen is 186th Street. I know it's a small screen, but it does show the outline of the one-story structure that will be facing Collins Avenue with the surface parking lot in the rear. The surface parking lot has a vehicular driveway connection to 186th Street only. We'll allow the applicant to share more photos and renderings of the project during their presentation. So there are several requests related to the project that need to be considered by the commission and will require 3 resolutions or 3 different votes. The first request is a conditional use approval. Because this sales center is not located directly on the site of the development project, the code considers it a conditional use, and that must be brought before the commission. So staff found that the proposed conditional use is consistent with the land development regulations, which does provide criteria for approving a conditional use. The second resolution is for items 2 through 5 on the screen, which are all variance requests. The first is to reduce the front setback on Collins Avenue from 40 feet to 5 feet, 4.5 inches. The second is to reduce the side setbacks on both the north and south sides from 10 feet to 6 feet. The third variance is to reduce the number of required parking spaces from 20 spaces to 10. And the last is a sign ordinance variance to increase the allowable size of wall signs from 35 square feet to 58 square feet and 43 square feet. The land development regulations require variances to be reviewed against 7 distinct criteria, and it also states that all variances must meet all of those criteria in order to be supported by the code. So staff reviewed these variances against the code, and we found that the requests meet several but not all of the variance criteria. In particular, the proposed structure is temporary, and it is significantly smaller in size than what is permissible on the property, and that is a special circumstance that's not applicable to other structures in the district. That being said, literal interpretation and application of the setback and parking requirements would not deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties. The final 2 requests are for the site plan approval and a request to allow graphics on a temporary construction fence. Should the variance requests be approved, then staff finds that the proposed off-site sales center site plan is consistent with the land development regulations, and we recommend the application to commission for consideration.
Great, thank you. Does the applicant want to come up and show us the pictures? No? Oh, just those. Okay, I thought there was others. that's fine. Do we have any public speakers?
Not for this item, no.
Okay. Are any questions or comments from the commission? You can just. Any questions? No?
Very beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
We also have something, if we,
Right now,
Yeah, you can see on the screen, yes.
we also have a presentation, if we can show the slides bigger on the screen if you want to, if it helps with any
No,
questions.
we have them here. Now we have them, so. Any questions or comments? No?
no. What we have right now is an eyesore, so this is beautiful.
I agree 100%. Absolutely.
One question, 'cause I think I'm not a visual chart person. The entrance is not going to be on Collins, right? It's going to be on the side road? Okay,
That's correct.
okay.
How quickly can this go up? Yeah, because what's there is horrible. Okay, with that, I need a motion.
So moved.
Okay. Roll call?
Okay. Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscaro,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The application is approved.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize the Mayor of El Portal. Hello, Mayor Omar. Thank you for being here. You're very far away from home.
Excuse me, City Clerk. There are three I just want to make clear on the record, because there's three resolutions to that for the variance, the conditional use, and the application itself. So I just want to clarify that it includes all three.
Yes, the motion includes all three, if that's the direction of the commission.
That's our understanding.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's what I understood it to be. Yes, thank you for being so diligent. Okay, next item.
Next item is 6A, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of San Diego Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 2024-618, approving budget amendment number BA 2425-02 to the city's operating and capital improvement budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is, as you know, any budget amendments or changes to the budget we bring to you for approval. This includes two small items. It allocates funds to install cameras in the main elevators at the government center and allocates $27,600 in carryover funds for a storage shed at the Layman.
Okay. Mauricio, do we have any public
No
speakers?
speakers, no.
All right. I'll take comments or questions from the commission. Anyone? No? All right, I need a motion, please.
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
This is a ordinance.
Yes.
So,
Commissioner Stuyvesant.
Yes.
Commissioner Viscaro.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama.
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph.
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
yes,
The ordinance is approved on first reading. Second reading is scheduled for February.
thank you. Next item.
6B is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of San Diego Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 22 of the Code of Ordinances entitled City Departments Created to eliminate the Development Services Department, creating the Procurement Department, creating the Innovation and Technology Department, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the city code, providing for an effective date.
City manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, as we continue to go through the code, we want to bring you updates, and we're working with Alan to just review some antiquated terms and things that need to be made current. So as part of that, you're going to see, we realize that there was not originally a creation of an IT department. And so in working with IT, we tried to figure out the most current name for that, and it's the Innovation and Technology Department, so this would create that. It would eliminate the previously created Development Services Division, and it would create the Procurement Department. Right now, we do not have a Procurement Department. Our purchasing falls under the Finance Department. And the idea is, and it's a best practice, to have a separate procurement department that operates somewhat separately from the finance department. Both of those departments would report to me.
Great, thank you. Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll take comments or questions from the commission. Take a motion then, please.
No?
Well, I just want to say, I do like that we're adding the checks and balances. I mean, I like that move. So.
Thank you. And just one more point of clarification, Alan pointed out to me, it also establishes the Planning and Zoning Department for clarification.
Great, thank you. All right, then I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Motion.
Second from Commissioner Joseph. This is a resolution, so all in favor?
No, this is an ordinance, Mayor.
Oh, thank you.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved 5-0. Second reading is scheduled for February.
All right, now we're to resolutions.
Yes.
Okay.
9A has been deferred.
Mm-hmm.
So 9B is a resolution confirming the balance of transfer development rights currently held in the TDR bank accounts by the City of Sunny Isles Beach and private owners.
Okay. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, this is the TDR annual report for 2024. This will confirm the amount of development rights that are currently owned by the city and private owners under the TDR program. I want to note that what was printed in the agenda book included a zoning application that was deferred tonight. So that 613 square feet will be removed from the TDR annual report.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what we have currently in the bank, in the city-owned bank, is 461,000 square feet and 240 dwelling units available for purchase.
Okay. Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Questions from the commission? I'll take a motion, please.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, next item, please.
9C is a resolution approving an agreement with Deckard Technologies for short-term rental activity data and compliance services.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, we use a software company to help us monitor short-term rentals that searches the internet, helps us match up and ensure that people have the proper licenses. This is a contract for a company for that purpose.
Okay. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments from the commission?
No.
And we had to talk during the agenda review that we have about 950 licenses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
9D is...
9D is a resolution authorizing the Chief of Police, in accordance with the Comprehensive Crime Control Act of 1984, to expend local law enforcement trust funds for the purchase of a drone as a first responder program.
We're combining 9D and 9E, correct?
Correct, Mayor. Thank you. 9E is a resolution approving the purchase of a drone as a first responder program from Axon Enterprises.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this item is the latest technology for our police department, and for lack of a better term, it allows us to purchase a super drone that will be operated from our police department. It will include our hyperwall, and it will be able to fly immediately, avoiding buildings and structures to a location, and give our police department real-time data. If you were to approve it, our goal is to be the first agency in the state of Florida with this type of technology.
Are there any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
I just wanted for clarification during agenda review, this came up, and if the city attorney could respond to it. What are the current allowances for private drones? Do we have any ability to prohibit them?
We do not. Florida statute specifically and expressly exempts us from regulating drones. That's solely within state jurisdiction. The only exceptions are things that don't apply to our city, which would be next to utility or certain facilities, military facilities, things of that sort. But generally, that's regulated by there are state regulations, but we don't have any regulatory authority.
Great. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
I think this is amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to be the first city to take on that technology, so I absolutely support it.
Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't think so.
Thank you. 9F is a resolution approving an agreement with Millennium Products to upgrade the CCTV system at Gateway Park.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, the last item and this item go together with your direction to enhance safety. This item allows us to upgrade our CCTV cameras at Gateway Park to now include firearms and facial recognition. So if there's someone of concern, you can enter it into our system and the cameras will detect, also has firearm detection, which we plan on deploying throughout the city and bringing those back to you.
Okay. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Can I ask a question of once this is approved, when do you think this will be implemented?
I'll have to get you a better time frame, but as
Okay.
soon as possible.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions? I'll take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item, please.
9G is a resolution approving the purchase of police radios from Miami-Dade County.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this allows for us to purchase 10 police radios in the amount of $53,355.
Public speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Questions from the commission?
Nope.
And this would be 10 radios, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'll take a motion, please.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're combining the next three items, 9H, 9I, and 9J. 9H is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds. I'm so sorry, I apologize for that. This is still a single item. We're not combining these yet.
9I, J,
I
K.
apologize, yeah. 9H is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds with McKibben Motorsports for the purchase of 5 UTVs for the police department and ocean rescue division. Mayor, before the city manager takes over, just to point out that this item was amended at the beginning of the meeting to include rescinding a previous resolution that approved this purchase back in April.
Right, okay.
So Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this, as City Clerk explained, was previously approved. 5, when we're able to finally get the items, the price adjust, but it's 5 utility terrain vehicles for police and ocean rescue.
Okay. Any public speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Any questions? Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now we're combining 9I, J, and K.
Yes, thank you. 9I is a resolution approving an interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County to reduce the speed limit on the city's local streets and assume the installation and maintenance responsibilities for the related signage. 9J is a resolution approving an interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County to perform traffic engineering functions for signing and marking. And 9K is a resolution approving an interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County to perform traffic engineering functions related to traffic calming on city's local streets.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, we've had some discussion about this. I'm going to try to summarize. In essence, in order for us to, many of the things that you've brought to us in the past regarding speed limits and speed tables, those kinds of things throughout our city require Dade County approval. There are some prior areas where the speed limit is 20, which we tried to get confirmation from traffic engineering from the county, and they originally rejected that application, and we resubmitted, and we were able to get the speed limit adjusted to 25. So although you have concerns about adjusting the speed limit, if we do not enter into any of these interlocal agreements with the county, our speed limit for these areas will be 30. Even though it's posted as 20, we have been asked by the county to replace the signs with the proper speed limit, which is 30. But through due diligence, we've been able to go back to them, present them data, and they have authorized it to be 25. So my recommendation to you is, even though I have heard your concerns, about further reducing the speed limit is to approve these interlocal agreements, because should we not have an interlocal agreement, the speed limit will be 30 instead of what it's going to be, which is 25.
Okay. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, we do, I'm sorry. For 9I, which is David Virgil.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission. My name is David Virgil. My address is 17500 North Bay Road, Sunny Isles Beach. I just want to say that I don't think it's a great idea to have to raise the speed limit to 25. I understand that the county is mandating it, but maybe in the future you all could come to you can negotiate with the county to try to lower the speed limit on the local streets back to 20, because there's always people crossing the road, either mid-block or at the crosswalks. There's kids on bikes, and it will not be great for the interest of pedestrian safety to have the speed limit so high on these narrow streets. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I understand it's required, but it should be negotiated to be lowered again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other speakers?
No, ma'am.
I just want to say David was at our agenda review, and I appreciate you coming to every meeting and coming to speak. And one of the things that you mentioned is the potential for additional crosswalks at those areas. Specifically for me, it's where Winston Towers is. There should be probably more crosswalks there. As I understand from the city attorney and the manager, without these interlocal agreements, we can't even have those kind of conversations. Is that correct?
Well, you can have the conversations, you just can't do
I meant,
anything
we
about
can't, of course, you know what I mean. We can't
Yes.
affect it. So the concern I had with this is, right now, we have signs that say 20. And I don't know, I don't have the data on whether we have given out any speeding tickets. But if we have, wouldn't those, in effect, be reneged because that's not the real speeding?
I'd rather not address that from
Okay,
the
I'm just
dais,
saying, I'm putting it out there
prospectively.
because it's something to consider.
That is an issue that, as the manager attorney, would possibly raise, yes.
Okay, all right. I know that there's members of the commission that wanted to speak.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead,
thank you.
Commissioner.
So it's my understanding that
Microphone.
when Sunny Isles became a city, we had certain streets that were deeded to us.
Correct.
And I'd like to understand what rights that gives us.
Okay. So in 1997, we looked at this back 5 years ago, and I looked at it again. So in 1997, you entered an ILA with the county and the subject matter of that ILA was municipal services. That's key. So throughout, and the enabling resolution from the city as well as the county talked about municipal services. So municipal services, and I'll walk you through it, there's a few steps, so please bear with me. So municipal services was defined in the ILA as police, planning, parks and recreation, public works, solid waste collection, and building and zoning services, and that's it. The language you're referring to deals with the street. So under Florida statutes, for one jurisdiction to give ownership, for the lack of a better term, of their streets, it has to be done through an ILA and in writing like this. So in accordance with that, they added a section which states that the city assumes responsibility for local roadway and other related capital improvements, and the county agrees to include the city in basically the capital improvement issues dealing with the regulatory side. The key language was, all roads not within the state road system will be maintained by the city. This agreement shall be sufficient to accomplish the transfer of public roads from the county road system to the city road system pursuant to section 335.0415 subsection 3 Florida statutes, and shall be deemed to include the transfer of the county's regulatory and proprietary jurisdiction and the conveyance of all right, title, and interest of the county subject to any easements reserved for public utilities owned and operated by the county. I'll speak on this first. So that is giving you fee simple interest to the streets. So you own the streets, they're yours. The next section talks about street signs, traffic signals, and other county-wide responsibilities. So it says county-wide funds will continue to be used for street signs, traffic signals, and other county-wide responsibilities. clearly, if you look at the whole of the document, the intent was to convey ownership of the streets. But, and again, we're just looking at the ILA. We'll talk about the county ordinance afterwards. But the ILA then talks about separately, again, from municipal services, dealing with street signs, traffic signals, and all that, and characterizes this as a countywide responsibility. Now you
Now,
go.
let me just ask you at that point, they've been shirking their responsibility regarding the signs, correct?
No, they haven't, because
So they've been replacing signs that were required to be
no,
that
because
have
this.
faded and all?
Remember, this ILA had an it's not an expiration date. It was renewed at some point because the county continued when you were incorporated. The county continued for a period of time to provide municipal services, and at some point that terminated. You took that over. So when you took that over, the responsibilities under the county code is the expenses. Now you could leave it up to the county, short of an ILA, but those expenses are borne by the city because you own the streets, the capital improvements, things of that sort. But then if you go to the county code, since 1960, and this is the same in other counties, they have exclusive jurisdiction over all traffic control devices, engineering, and everything else with regards to traffic. That's countywide. That's for every city, incorporated, unincorporated, everything. So they always have exclusive jurisdiction in that regard, as other counties do, as a charter county especially. Your ILA doesn't detract from that. So they still are in exclusive control. The state controls some portion of it, and then counties control the other. A lot of it is for consistency's sake with regards to all the different jurisdiction within counties. But clearly, they have the exclusive control of that, and what they say goes. So if they say your internal streets are 30 miles an hour, they're 30 miles an hour. So what we do, all of that is subject to entering into separate ILAs with the different jurisdiction to make adjustments to that, which I think the process started many years ago and now has come to fruition where we've been able to negotiate it down to 25. A lot of that is data driven. And there you may find, I was driving through some parts of Hallandale, they were at 25 in the internal streets. You may find a road here or there that you can justify 20 miles an hour, but that's a continuous process with the county. So what you want to do is kind of cut your losses here and go to 25, because to the mayor's point, it's not 20 miles an hour. You could put 50 signs down that street there that says 20 miles an hour. It's not 20 miles an hour. So it's better to do the 25 and then continue to work with the county to get it down to 20. And a lot of it has to do with data. And I know that city engineers work very hard, and with our, Calendar, do you know, with our consultant, to come up with the necessary studies to try to justify the 20 miles an hour. They just haven't been able to do that yet. But you entering into these ILAs will not preclude us from continuing. Actually, if you don't, you're kind of taking a step backward. So that's why we're recommending that you go forward.
Okay, so I haven't seen the language, but you've analyzed every word of every sentence?
I have.
And there's no out anywhere?
I have, and actually it was done 5 years ago also. I went back to what they did 5 years ago, and I did my own analysis as well. And it's solid. I mean, and again, this isn't just Dade County. It's Broward County, Palm Beach County. They control traffic.
Commissioner Stuyvesant?
Okay, if I may, I think we should have a workshop with the people, let them know what the county wants, bring the county here to explain it to them, because here it says that we are reducing the speed limit. We are increasing it. We are going from 20 to 25. That's not a reduction. So if we do this, we'll be responsible for anything that happens. And it's not fair. We should, at least I'm going to do that. I'm going to contact the office of the mayor and all the county commissioners and let them know that we are not okay with this. And I understand that it's data-driven, but the data doesn't explain something else. We have here families from everywhere. In Europe, the kids from very small age, they walk along to the school, back and forth. Guess what? They're doing that here as well in those little streets. So that is not quantified in the data. So I believe like we've been with this for 27 plus years. There is probably a big chance to grandfather these numbers, our numbers, the one that we have right now. And if I will make a motion to defer the item and to have time for us to speak with the county, with elected officials as well, with the people that make those decisions, because it seems that this is being forced, because I haven't been part of the conversation, by the staff and the bureaucracy. And they are not the ones who are gonna be taking the hit if something bad happens. So, and again, we need to inform the people because the people don't know. If they don't come to those workshops that we have, or because if you read the agenda, it said that we are reducing the speed limit. So anybody will think, guys, this is so good. It's gonna go less than we have right now. No, it's going up. So it's even disingenuous. So my motion will be to defer. If we've been like this for 27 plus years, we can be there like this for one more month until we have time to contact the county.
Now, I've already, to say, I've already spoken with Mickey Steinberg's office, and they're sticking to county statute.
All right, hold on a second. I want to make sure that the entire commission has an opportunity to speak. Commissioner Vizcarra?
Okay, so the problem, the reduction, or whether you going up or going down, the basis of the problem is however long ago, I assume it was the city, was it us? I think it was us. 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, we put up the wrong signs. Okay, let's say 20, because maybe that's what we wanted it to be, or maybe, just put it up and see if nobody notices. I don't know what it was, but we put up the wrong signs. So the speed limit has always been 30, but our signs have always said 20. So if you're looking at the signs, it's going to look like the speed limit went up. But in reality, the speed limit is going down. People are going to be upset and confused? Absolutely. I would be too. How are you telling me, that 25 is less than 20, right? Come on. That's basic numbers. But it's because we had the wrong signs. I'd like to ask a question of the city attorney. I mean, what leverage do we have here?
On traffic issues like this, you really don't.
So,
I mean, especially if the county is going to hold firm. I mean, you can negotiate. The best way to attack these is, again, and these are very, when I say data, there are a lot of data points that go into these reports and so on and so forth. And it's a matter of continuing to work with the county to try to convince them that, it may not be for all your internal roads, but there may be some roads, like with the school, that you're concerned with that you can, fight for. But again, the ILA is not going to prevent you from doing that. You just continuously need to fight with the county to try to get what you want through whatever avenues you can. But from a statutory and legal standpoint, they're on firm ground.
So I think
hold on.
I agree.
Let's go one at a time.
I agree with what our resident David said. I mean, nobody likes it. This is not. No, we didn't sit around and decide. What we're gonna do. Let's. This was thrown on us, and we're left with the uncomfortable job of making the decision of turning a sign that says 20 into 25 and trying to explain how that's lower. I understand that that's awkward, but it is what it is, and we have no leverage. So we take it, we do our best to explain it, but that doesn't mean we stop advocating. If we need more data, if we need better studies, or whatever it is, if we do it and we keep fighting, when does this agreement sunset?
It's not. It's in perpetuity. As with all ILAs that you pretty much enter into, there's no finite time. They're just giving you the ability to do what it is you want to do.
But if we had the data, and we can go back, and so that door can be opened.
Oh, sure. You'd enter
keep
into
advocating for the 20.
Right. So you'd enter into anytime you're going to make a change. So that's why you have 3, because there's other changes that are being made, some infrastructure things and things like that with traffic markings and so on and so forth. So you just enter into ILAs with them when you want to make a change. For example, if you want to change a stop sign, you want to move a stop sign, you want to add a stop sign, you're going to enter into an ILA for them to give you permission to do that. Okay. So it's just a matter of doing that. And when I said leverage before, and when I responded to your question, I'm only talking about legal leverage. I'm not talking about all leverage.
I got it. But because it's frustrating. This is where we're basically correcting an error, and it's gonna reflect like we're the ones trying to, or saying it's disingenuous, or that we're the ones trying to be tricky in some way, and it's not us. We're just correcting what it is. So I don't like it, but I would support it.
Wait, let Vice Mayor go.
So, okay, so when we start looking at other cities, you mentioned Hallandale, Alan. Unfortunately, we live in a very dense city. You know, we're not even 2 miles in length, and we have about 25,000, residents. A lot of stuff is going on. You know, when we're looking at North Bay Road and the streets around the school, those are narrow streets. Even in Golden Shores, there are narrow streets. And you have a lot of people walking. You have to take into account, like Commissioner Stuyvesant said, some of the cultural aspects of our residents. Kids walk by themselves. A lot of people walk. Elderly people walk at night.
No sidewalks.
So I think that when you're looking at the data, I don't know if the data is considering that. Okay, that's one. Two, I'd like to see if there's any benchmarks or any comparisons to perhaps other municipalities that are as dense as ours, where there's other speed limits. And, one of the questions I asked you, I wanted to know if perhaps, what's the criteria? What are they looking at? I don't know if there's other cities. Are there other cities where their internal streets, their local streets, are at 20 miles per hour? So I think we need to start looking into that a little bit more. And then I would like to try the political pressure route, and before we sign anything, and just have one more try. You spoke to Mickey. Thank you very much, Commissioner Joseph. But we should all be speaking to Mickey Steinberg. Mickey Steinberg is our commissioner representative for the area, for the county, and we should be talking to the office of the mayor and see what we could do. Politically, see if we could wield some pressure, and if we can't get it done, fine, but at least we tried, and then we could, sign an interlocal agreement and keep negotiating until we get it to 20, because there's a lot of activity, and I see more and more and more, and with things that have happened, people coming here from the north, people coming from South America. I just see more and more people moving in. We need to be very careful what we agree to, because 5-10 years from now, it just could have very negative effects. So we just need to be very cognizant of that. And let's try to see if we could have a workshop, invite residents, and then have the county come to us and explain their process, explain it to the residents, and then we talk to whoever our representatives are for the county to see how we could, further put some pressure on them and make them realize, perhaps they don't realize that, let's have them live here for 3 days and see how crazy it is. Yes.
I have a question.
If I may, okay.
Wait, one second. I just want to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to have enough time. Commissioner Joseph, did you want to add something? That's okay. Let Commissioner Stuyvesant then go.
Okay, so when they were making the changes for the Better Bus Network, they did all the campaign to let the people know, to inform them, they did surveys, they want to listen from them. My point is, and still they changed whatever they wanted, and we were not able to do anything, okay? But my point is that we need to inform the people. People have the right to know. And the county is the one technically forcing us to do this. So they are the one who have to come here and explain the people and let them know what they're doing, why they're doing it, what is the data that they're using and the formulas, etc. Because again, it seems like they don't understand Sunny Alps, And I'm a mom of 3 kids, different ages, and I'm so terrified of my children walking and driving here in the city. And South Florida in general. We have an amazing city and police department, so it's not like only Sonny Al's, okay? So the point is that we need to do a workshop with the county to explain to the people, we survived 27 plus years with this set of rules, so let's defer the item and give a little more of time for everybody to contact the elected officials and also to inform the people and let them know and let them contact also the elected officials and let them know what is it that we think and why are we scared of this. Okay, so that'll be my motion and hopefully somebody can.
Wait, I have a question. Is there, City Attorney, my understanding, I thought that there was like a time pressure on this from the county. Is there some kind of deadline for this agreement?
Well, there is in the sense that right now it's 30 miles. I know the signs say 20, but your internal streets are 30 miles an hour. And the urgency is, the thing is, at least you can get them down to 25 legitimately and deal with that. But 20 is going to be an issue going forward because it's not 20.
Mr. Attorney, is there an expiration date? When do we have to sign this agreement?
There's no, you don't have to sign it at all if you don't want to, but just understand.
Let's say for the sake of.
There's no time. We're the ones asking for this essentially because we need authority to fix this issue.
So we forced.
Wait, one at a time. Let the Vice Mayor finish.
Okay, so we could very well, let's say, internally say, let's give ourselves 2 to 3 weeks, talk to the county, see if we as a body could put some political pressure on them and have a workshop, and they could come here. We could do it at Gateway, like we did for the Better Bus changes.
Well, they're treating us as
Wait.
cookie cutter, but we're not.
I think 2 to 3 weeks is fair. And then, if we have to sign it, we'll sign it. If we could get something accomplished, negotiate with them, then let's try. That's all I'm saying.
Commissioner Joseph, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So what I was told is this is a county-wide statute, and regardless of our density, they're treating us as cookie cutter, the same as any other city.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know
against.
that, Jerry.
Well, that's what I was told.
By whom?
By Melanie.
So
Melanie is, I spoke with Mayor Cava's office as well.
right.
So,
Commissioner Stuyvesant.
And remember, like Golden Shore doesn't even have sidewalks.
yes.
So you are increasing the speed limit in an area with small streets with that doesn't even have sidewalk. It doesn't have so much lights at night. It is just like this is a disservice to our people. I will never, ever vote for this.
It's only a matter of time before we have an issue.
God forbid, exactly, which is the point. So
But
if
you're
it
not
was,
actually increasing it.
Wait, let me just.
I don't even believe it was an error back then. I would like to have the opportunity to study more and to see with the players back then how we got to where we got. And we can always request anything. They can, of course, deny it, but we've been surviving basically with a 20 miles per hour. Let's try to fight for it, to fight for the people. Whatever the book says, like I said, Sonny Al's is not Doral or Hialeah or Miami Beach or Aventura. Each one of these cities has their own personality and their own kind of people. Again, I'm very terrified for our people. I will never support this. The way it is, I never. So, and if the county wants this, they are the one who has to come and explain it to our people, why they're doing and forcing us to do this.
So, okay, I want to add because I think that we can talk about this forever. I don't think anyone here wants to increase the speed limit. If anything, if you ask me, I would say we should go for 15, and that our school zone should last longer because we have, so many areas where we have kids that are constantly walking or biking. And like everyone here, I've got kids, and I'm terrified when they are on bikes or even walking. And with Commissioner Joseph and I live in Golden Shores, so we get it. My concern is that if we're all going to different directions and contacting different people and asking for different things, we're kind of running in circles. I do believe that we need to have a workshop to have a discussion. However, I think that from that workshop, we should come up with a plan as to what we collectively want to do. But in the meantime, I do not support not signing it only because at any point, they could come in and rip out those signs and put in 30. But 1 second, that's not what we want to do. We want to do this in a way that makes sense. Right now, us agreeing to it doesn't mean that we have to run and change those signs to 25. So for me, it's to do it methodically. I do agree we should have a workshop, and I think that we should collectively decide on the speed limit that we want, because I don't think it should be the same in Golden Shores versus North Bay Road. There's a difference in all those streets. So, did anyone have anything else to add?
I believe that, and I don't like this, okay?
No one does.
And I don't want to sound like I'm like, because I don't like this. But my understanding also is that by signing it, we're like protecting the improvements that we've made, right? That's included in the, and also like the lights around the stop signs and things like that. Mm-hmm. Like whatever improvements we've made are preserved. If we don't sign it, then they can come and rip that off, because we're not playing ball.
Well, remember, you have 3 ILAs, so the one dealing with speed is only one of them. The other 2 deal with other things that you've already improved and some markings and things of that sort. So you can certainly, I would recommend you vote on the other 2, because that doesn't impact speed or even deal with speed, but it does
the
preserve
speed one does not impact what I just said.
Right, correct. So you have 3 different ILAs for 3 different things.
So my question is, generally, you believe that they are going to come in the middle of the night and take out the signs and put new signs? You think that's right now the priority of the county?
I've seen
that's the relationship that we have with them?
I've seen other counties do it.
Okay, but that's my point. So generally, you believe that that's what will happen. They will come in the middle of the night.
It's not that
It's not what I believe. It's just they have the right to do it.
Right.
So
Correct.
whether they do it or not, my only goal, my only responsibility is to tell you legally what they have a right to do. That's
and
all
they
I'm
have
telling you.
the right to do it tonight, as of the way we are, right?
Sure.
So they can come. They could have come in the last 27 years in any moment to do it.
Except
So-
now we know that they know.
Oh well, okay. So now they know. Whatever.
I'm
my
just,
point
again,
is, and I thank you for trying to protect us. I
I'm
thank
just
you for
letting
what
you
you're
know
doing.
what the ramifications are, that's
But the point is that I don't believe that's the relationship that we have with the city, with the county. I don't believe that they're going to come in the middle of the night to rip up the signs and put new signs. I don't even think they have the budget to do that. And and if that's what they want to do, let them do it, But again, let's do the workshop, let's inform the people, let's contact the offices and try to protect our people. That's, I believe, like what we should be trying to do here, Now all this bureaucracy about when we did things wrong or right or whatever, let's try to grandfather what we have right now and to contact whoever we can contact to make that happen. So I'm going to make a motion to defer these 3 items.
Wait, before you make a motion, we're still having a discussion. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, I think that we solved that issue. Like, if we are afraid that they're going to come here and rip our signs, we send them an email tomorrow or even tonight, and we communicate to them, listen, the commission would like to talk to you and would like to have a workshop because we're looking at the interlocal agreement. They do have some questions before we approve it, or they're trying to negotiate. Whatever it is, we communicate something to them so they are aware. And I think it puts everything on hold until we talk to them and we can have a workshop. And then, also I wanted to say that I'm also concerned because it's not only going to be 25 miles per hour. I think Rick said that some streets are going to be 30 miles per hour, like 174th, correct? Am I wrong?
It is now.
I believe he identified, I don't know if it's 174th, but he identified some that, yes, they would be 30.
Other ones.
Larger roads.
But this deals with, right, but that they currently are.
They already are.
Is it? I've never seen that.
I know, well,
Paying
they
attention.
are technically.
So, but it's concerning because obviously there's a lot of activity, pedestrian activity, a lot of cars in the city, and let's see what we could accomplish.
That would be
in a
up to the
concerted
city
way.
manager.
Yeah.
You're directing it to me, but that's really for him.
No, I'm directing
But-
everybody. See what we could do in a concerted effort, all of us as a body, and then take it from there.
All right, what I'm hearing is, and if we can separate these items, I know we combine them, to separate them and approve and vote first on the speed bumps and the improvements, We in support of voting on that? Okay,
If
so,
you're going to separate them out, I would do a vote for each.
okay.
Yeah.
So Commissioner Stevenson, you wanted to make a motion to defer
Yes,
the first item.
correct, and basically the second one too, because it's about the signing and the marking. I think it's connected to the first one.
Yeah, but the signing and the marking, that doesn't change. We get to keep it.
Correct, okay.
So then we don't need to defer that.
Okay, I make a motion to defer the first item, 9I, about the reducing the speed limit on the city streets.
Okay. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, the
opposed?
next item. Do I have a motion for the next item?
Can be the second
Absolutely,
item be
go ahead.
explained a little bit better?
Sure.
Alan, please. 9J.
I'm not the engineer, so I don't.
No,
Okay.
Mr. City
Sorry.
Manager.
City manager
Yes,
has
city
any
manager.
notes on that,
9J.
but
I just want to say one other
Wait,
thing.
1 second. I just want to remind everyone that there's an echo in here, so when you have a conversation, we hear it here as well, so thank you. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, if we're going to contact Mayor Cava's office or Mickey Steinberg's office, those are, the top echelon. It's not the top echelon that sends someone out to change the signs. It's the traffic department. They need to actually let their traffic department know that they don't want anything to occur.
Well, you send communication to
Wait,
everybody.
whatever direction we give, it's going to go through the manager.
Right.
So it would be
Right,
the manager
exactly,
that would
yes.
do
But
that
we
through
have
the
to
staff.
be, we have to be proactive that the
Sure, of
mayor or
course, of course.
someone doesn't have the ability to say, oh, I didn't know.
Of course, of course. Commissioner Stuyvesant, you had a question?
Yeah, if 9J is connected to the interlocal agreement or not? Because that's the way I read it, so I might be wrong.
I think at this point, it may be best if you have some questions or concern, let's defer the 3. We'll have a workshop about this item specifically, and then we can bring you the information. In terms of, we've already provided the data to traffic engineering from Dade County, but we would I can ask them if they would, be willing to come share their
Findings.
I guess their findings and their reasons and how these studies are conducted.
Does this
In the meantime,
delay,
put their enforcement on hold.
I wouldn't, well,
does this delay us adding the speed bumps that we discussed?
yes.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well, it's a trade-off.
All right, so then I need a motion to defer all 3 items, if that's what the manager is asking.
I make the motion.
Yes, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, then we are at 9L.
9L is a resolution approving an agreement with Comtech Engineering for the Golden Shores Pump Station Rehabilitation Project.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is just an extension of the agreement with the company that's doing the work. There's no monetary change.
Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, do we have any questions from the commission?
Can we light a fire under them, Stan?
We are trying, yes, sir.
I'll take a motion, please.
So move.
Need a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item, please.
9M is a resolution ratifying the issuance of a purchase order to Oracle Elevator Company to provide citywide elevator maintenance services.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is a contract with Oracle Elevator Company for our elevator maintenance services.
Any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, are there any comments or questions? I know we spoke about this at length during the agenda review. Did anyone want to add anything? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item.
9N is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of 3 2025 Ford F-150 trucks from Duval Ford.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is authorizing the purchase of 3 F-150s for our Public Works Department.
Okay, any speakers?
No, ma'am.
I have a question.
Please, go ahead.
Does our media department have a vehicle?
I could research and let you know.
You mean as a department?
Yes,
I've never seen one, so, okay. Yes.
just asking.
All right. Any other questions or comments? I need a motion, please.
Motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
9-0.
A resolution approving the selection of United Healthcare as provider of employee health insurance, United Healthcare Dental as the provider of dental insurance, IMED as the provider of vision care, Mutual of Omaha as a provider of life insurance, accidental death and dismemberment insurance, long-term disability insurance, voluntary short-term disability insurance, and voluntary life insurance for a period of 1 year.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is our annual renewal of our insurance company, and our original estimates was for a 27% increase, but through our HR and risk management department, we were able to negotiate a flat renewal for our insurances, keeping everything the same.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments from the commission?
I remember something from last year that we dropped some people off the coverage. Did that occur again this year?
The insurance is fluid, so people come on our insurance and they.
I mean, past employees.
I would, yeah, we've already discussed that,
Officials and
so,
all.
yeah,
Yes.
we don't have anyone new that was added
Okay.
related to that, yes, sir.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
9P.
A resolution waiving the bidding requirements of Chapter 62 of the Code of Ordinances, ratifying an agreement with Edmunds GovTech to provide and maintain the city's enterprise resource planning financial software.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is a financial software system that's used, name of the company is Edmunds. It's used by our finance department to track expenditures, credits, debits.
Great. Mr. City Clerk, do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Are there
I
any-
do have a comment about this. Like I said earlier, I do not feel comfortable when we are waiving the bidding process. Apparently, we've been with this software for 10 years, since 2014. They might be better software right now. We don't know that because we are waiving and we're giving a contract for 3 years without even researching the market. We just created a new procurement department. The people in procurement are amazing. It's a very good staff. They could put this on demand and, open for competition so we can find out maybe a better rate, a better software, etc. So I am not feeling comfortable anytime that we are waiving a bidding process. If we need it right now because we are using it, we don't have anything else, I feel comfortable ratifying the contract for 1 year, with the promise that we are going to start the bidding process before ends this 1 year. But other than that, I don't feel comfortable just giving the contracts by the finger.
Any other questions? Mr. City Manager, in regards to Commissioner Stephenson's comments about research, how is this researched, and who looks into it, and how long does it take?
Well, I rely on Tiffany in our finance department, the finance director, for this information. And as the commissioner explained, we have been with this company for a long time. So for us to go out to bid, it doesn't mean that we can't put it out to bid after this is approved to see if we can negotiate a better rate. But at this point, they did check with some other companies, and we feel like this was the best offer that we had and maintains continuity in our system.
Okay. So if we were to sign a contract, as I understood it, most of our contracts allow us to cancel them, correct?
Yes, you have terminations for convenience. I need to double check this one real quick, though, because sometimes they are, this one I drafted, so it should be in there.
Because the software is proprietary to this company, correct?
It is, and ERP systems are very finicky when you switch them over. It's a very long process. So,
And also our employees are familiar with the software.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, to changing to a different
Yeah.
company would
So
be
it's gonna be a
changing the
learning curve.
software.
We don't need to change. Maybe this is the best one. You know, like, I'm not saying that they are not good or they are not the best. The thing is that we don't even know because we're
No,
not even trying.
I don't disagree with you. I just think we need to consider all aspects of
Correct.
it, and learning curve is definitely one of them.
Oh, clearly, yeah. And like I say, if anything, instead of 3 years, we can make a motion to continue with the software for 1 more year. And that gives us the time to prepare, to go out and bid, and maybe they are the best and they give us the best rate, but at least let them compete with whatever is out there. But right now, we are just giving it to whoever we have in-house.
we do have a provision for termination for convenience, so we can.
So we can terminate if we find a better price or a better product.
But for that, we will have to go to procurement. And why would we go to procurement if we have a contract for 3 years?
No, we can contract, we could still bid it out. We could sign the contract
Correct.
and still bid it out, and then if we find someone, then we can just cancel it. We don't need to change the terms to 1 year, because my concern is if we go back to change the term to 1 year, then that may change other terms in the contract. So if we have the ability.
Well, that's up to well, typically the kind of pricing you're going to get for a 3-year contract isn't going to be the same for the 1-year contract, and we wouldn't be able to change it tonight anyway without them
Do we
agreeing
have a
to it.
penalty if we get out of the contract early?
No, termination for convenience, you don't have to have a reason. It's just you have to give them 10 days notice in this case, and you just terminate.
I just
But-
want to say something regarding software, and especially financial software. Tiffany can tell you right now if this is a convenient software or not. She may be familiar with others that are not as convenient. You know, usually someone in finance is familiar with different types of software.
It wouldn't be before you if Tiffany didn't want it to be done.
Right. Commissioner Viscar, you started saying something?
If there's no penalty, then, you know, if we can still explore other options, but there's no penalty for getting out, then let's approve it. Otherwise, we're going to be having the same conversation every year when we can have it every 3 years and preserve that. These are negotiated terms, right? These are things that have been, this is an agreement that's been sent from the company, et cetera.
Right, well, we drafted the agreement, but the terms are essentially, they've been the same. I mean, yeah, technically they're negotiated, but they're pretty standard terms with regards to any of their clients.
I'd like to say
I
something.
think we go forward with what we have in front of us, but we can, and if there's no penalty to get out of it in the future because we find something better or because Tiffany changed her mind or whatever it is, then we do that, but at least we're set for the next 3 years.
And when I say there's no specific penalty, but you may still owe them some money. There are particular licenses perhaps that you've already paid for that you're not going to get prorated, so I don't know specifically there. We'd have to check with the company. So
we
there
don't
may
know
be a cost to
specifically
it.
whether we make it 1 year or 3 years, we don't know those specifics either way.
Exactly.
So,
I was just going to add, in my discussions with Tiffany, we negotiated the best rate for 3 years because it's a 3-year. But if it's your direction that, you know, if you approve it and you want us to go back and put this out to bid as well, there's nothing to preclude us from doing that as well.
I don't want to create extra work for staff. If I trust Tiffany implicitly, and if she believes this is the company that is giving us the best product and best price, I think if we ask her to give us more information, she would be happy to do that. But I feel comfortable signing this the way that it is.
I trust the staff as well. I just don't believe one person can know everything that is out in the market, especially with software. Every day there is something new. So maybe, like I said earlier today when we're having a similar conversation, maybe there is no new software being created in Seattle, California, that we are not aware of. So that's what I say. 3 years for me is, for a contract that is given by the finger, I'm sorry, no. I don't feel, and I do trust completely in Tiffany and her department, and nothing against our finance department. I think they do an outstanding job. It's just that this, for me, is not about finance. This should be procurement putting this out to bid so we can know about what is it out there and we can make them compete to get our business.
But it's not just the pricing. It's what Commissioner Joseph said. There's a lot
You could be-
involved.
See, not knowing the software yourself, you could be strapping Tiffany and the department with software that they're not, happy with. So you have to have Tiffany here asking her those questions. What is it about this software that she's happy with? How long has our office used
Since
this software
2014.
now?
Since 2014,
Okay,
and
but
we
they-
originally
but
put.
they're constantly sending updates, okay? The software is constantly updated. So there has to be something about the software that she's happy with and familiar with.
I will not talk for
And-
anybody, so.
Okay, well, she needs to be here.
Okay,
We
but
need to
she's
be able
not.
to ask
No,
her
but that's
before
why we
go
have the
forward
agenda
on
review.
some- I would then go with this software and speak with her first before we put it out for bids. Because
Okay.
then you may be strapping her with something that she doesn't want.
All right,
Okay.
I make a motion to approve as is.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oppose.
Okay, item is approved. Next item.
9Q is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the agreement with CBIZ CPAs, formerly known as Markham LLP, for professional auditing services.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this company, Markham, had a name change to now CBIZ CPAs, and that's the reason for the item.
Okay, do we have any public speakers? Any comments from the
You're
commission?
also, you're renewing the agreement as well. You're also doing an assignment, so you're agreeing to the assignment of the company and then also renewing the agreement.
Okay. Need a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in
Third.
favor?
Aye.
9R?
A resolution rescinding resolution number 2024-3769, ratifying the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-550 Super Cab chassis from Allen J. Fleet Sales.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, we discussed this before, it was brought up by the Vice Mayor. There was a difference between the cab of the truck and the crane of the truck. This resolves that whole issue. We ended up getting a better rate than what we originally proposed. We have the cab of the truck. The crane part of the truck will be here in approximately 6 months because it's back ordered.
Okay. Any speakers? Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? Take a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 9S.
Resolution approving a second amendment to the agreement with IM Electric for street lighting, preventive maintenance services, and as-needed electrical services.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is related to our street lighting project. Originally, we had used the company Stout, but we found that in going back and forth and negotiating prices, it's going to be better and more efficient to use the company IM Electric, who is also one of our existing pre-qualified bidders for the city, in an amount not to exceed $372,000 for street lighting and preventative maintenance services.
Mauricio, any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any questions from the commission? Take a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. 9T.
9T is a resolution awarding invitation to bid number 251101-2 and approving an agreement with National Water Main Cleaning Company as a primary awardee to provide stormwater management preventive maintenance services. We can take 9U with this item as well. And it's a resolution awarding invitation to bid number 251101 for stormwater management preventive maintenance services to Enviro Waste Services Group as a secondary awardee.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this awards a bid for stormwater maintenance to clean out our stormwater system at $300,000 primary for National Water Main Cleaning Company, but as a secondary, $100,000 towards Enviro Waste as a backup in case things fall through with the first company.
Okay. Mr. City Clerk, do we have any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission? Take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
9V is a resolution authorizing the issuance of a purchase order to Granicus LLC for software services for various departments for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is a company that provides services to our building and code and licensing and zoning department. It's for a software in an amount not to exceed $120,000.
Mauricio, any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Stevison?
Question, I have a comment. Like, this is also a SmartGov. It's part of Granicus, right? Yeah. Okay. I know SmartGov has many tools. Like, for example, you can put the folio of a unit or unit number or an address and get a lot of information, like the permits, code enforcement, etc. We are paying right now for those tools and for that service. However, it's not active. We don't have it. So I would like to propose for our IT or a representative from the company to give us a workshop about all the tools that they have and that we are paying for. That way we can open those tools and start using them. For example, I get a lot of requests from different residents that they want to know about code enforcement issues in their buildings, permits, etc. That information is actually right now available in SmartGov, and we are blocking that information. We are controlling what the people can see, even though that all this is a public record. They can, of course, come to the city clerks and request that information, but they don't need to do that because we are paying for that. We're paying for them to have access to that. We need to open that access. We need more transparency, not less transparency. We don't need to control the information if it's a matter of a public record. So they don't need to go through, they should not go through the city clerk to have access to something that we have access right now and that we are paying for them to have it and we are controlling it. So maybe for us to be clear in the public as well about what is this software is offering and that we're paying for, we should have a little workshop to let the people know and to open and be more transparent with the information, especially from building department, code enforcement. So I'm okay with this, but we need more transparency.
Well, I have a question for Mauricio.
Sure, please go
Do you
ahead.
get a lot of public requests for this type of info?
The majority of requests that we get is for building department permits and plans and things of that nature.
Right. So would it be helpful to your office if this were online for people to go look at themselves?
Honestly, Commissioner, I'd have to go back to see how many requests we get, for example, for code enforcement, to Commissioner Stuyvesant's point, versus how many hits we get to the city's website looking for code enforcement information.
Right.
May I?
Yes,
I have a question. So what information would you like the residents to have access to? Because you could go in to the building department landing page. You could type in an address and they'll tell you if there's any open permits. It'll give you, I don't know, I mean, I'm not too familiar with it. I've accessed it before. I don't know, it'll give you like drawings or anything like that. So I'm trying to get clear detail on what exactly would you like that website
yeah, that'll be the
to
good
have.
thing about the workshop because, like, for example, SmartGov, other municipalities are using it. And I have put an address in other municipalities, and when you, exactly the same software that we had, the same page, the same colors, font and everything. So when you put the address, you can click and you see all the information about the permits, the applications, documents, and everything. You know, so that'll be the good thing. So if we can compare with another municipality, we can see all the tools that they have available that we are paying for. Like I said, so we have that.
So you just
know?
want to get more familiar with
No,
this.
I wanna give the people more information. I want them to give access to the information because, for example, I'm not gonna name the building, but yesterday I was talking with a resident and they're very scared of structural issues in their building, okay? And our building department officials have been there and had apparently written some code enforcement violations for that specific building. And so she contacted me and she said, oh, Fabiola, I keep asking our board to share that information with us, and they're not sharing it with us. They say everything is perfect. So what do I need to do? Now everybody knows, but if you can put that information about the the building address, etc., you could access that on your own, you know? So that's my point. Like, we don't need to put more restrictions for the people to get the information that is open for them, but right now, we have to go through the city clerk's office to get that information. And again, we're paying for it, you know? So I believe that we should be trying to give the people more transparency, more access, and not less access. Especially that the software is built for that. And like I said, so if the representative of the company can come and show us the area of all the tools that they have available, then we can give those tools to our people.
So right now you could see, I mean, I've accessed building permits, anything that's pending, rejected, et cetera. You could see that. I'm not sure about code violations. Is that available right now, or is that has to go through a request to you, Mauricio? Do we know that answer? They're not.
They are.
They are. Okay. Same software, obviously. We use the same software.
Yeah, but you're saying it's available for the public to see now.
I mean,
Okay, so I propose that, you know, for the next meeting, if we can get more information from the city clerk as to what is available and what you personally think would be beneficial, because I agree with Commissioner Stuyvesant, if we have access to information, there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't put that information out there, as long as it doesn't cost us any extra money, you know, and if it alleviates anything for your office.
Well, Mauricio doesn't charge for requests, so
If you
it's
have to
just
make
his time.
photocopies, well,
We-
no, his time
we
is
do.
valid.
charges photocopies.
Yeah, if it exceeds a certain amount of time.
Right,
we do
and
start charging
so, yeah,
hourly.
absolutely, and especially if multiple people have the same
But it's not a
request, if they can
moneymaker.
just access it,
Yeah.
it's not a
Well-
moneymaker.
Right.
They can access it, but unless there's any reservation from the manager.
Yeah, I think Mauricio providing the report in terms of what is available is good, but in terms of any additional accessibility, I would ask for direction from you all as a group, because the only thing I would caution you is that some of our residents would probably prefer that their plans not be
Right.
made readily available online to their homes for your neighbors. So I'm
Yeah,
just,
we've discussed
it's-
that before, yeah.
right, we just need to be sensitive to that, but I think gathering the information and sharing it with you, and then you can provide us direction, and we'll do whatever's
Okay.
needed.
Well, this software is very similar to the software that Durham has for the county. And like I said, over there, you can type the folio of the address of a residence, and you can even see and read the emails between them and the officials for any permit that they are requesting, violation, notices of compliance, you name it, okay? So they have plans, they have everything, and the most expensive houses of Miami-Dade County. So I understand that we want to be, that we need to be mindful about the privacy of the people. But again, you know what, this is public records, regardless in any way. So, and for us also to make a decision or give you directions, we need to know what is it that is available out there. So if we can get at least a brochure or a presentation of the software and what is the capability of the software, because we don't even know right now what is it that they can provide to us and that we can actually provide to the people. And so to be, again, transparent, if we can have a workshop that I don't see the reason why not, at least to give us a presentation, maybe individual, or send it to us about the capabilities of the software. What is it that we're paying for? And what is it that they can do for us? Because like I said, if we just go through the exercise of going into SmartGov in another municipalities and putting an address, you are gonna be surprised of the amount of information that you can get. And I don't see why here in the city of Sunny Isles, we are scared of providing that information to the public.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's scared of providing the information to the public.
But we're not doing it, we can do it.
Yeah, and just to speak to that, it's just a matter of opinion, but we'll bring the information back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I need a motion for 9V, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
9W, please.
A resolution approving an amendment to the lease agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and the United States Postal Service.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, if you recall from the workshop, we went back and forth with the post office regarding this contract. We are very limited in our ability to change the contract at all. When I say limited, I mean actually we can't change it at all, with the exception of the monetary portion of it. So they had offered us a lower rate. We did a market analysis. They've agreed to pay the higher rate, which you see reflected in the documents, and it is for a 5-year term, which is a required renewal from the contract originally. So after 5 years, then we can enter in and negotiate, and further negotiations. And for now, it's a matter of we really don't have a choice but to renew it if you want to keep a post office there.
Yes.
Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
So I'd just like to bring up what we spoke about in our agenda review regarding engagement that residents have had with post office employees that have not been so favorable.
Since I've been here, the most complaints I've received have been regarding the staff of the post office.
Correct.
So that, I was waiting for this opportunity during the lease renewal to try to effectuate some sort of change that would enable me to have oversight of the personnel there. And it was explained to me by the post office that that is not a possibility. It's also
right?
yes, the actual response was they laughed. But then they're also a very heavily unionized operation, so I'm extremely restricted in terms of my ability to make any change other than the price which they are paying the current rate.
Okay. Are there any other comments?
Just like the city manager said, it's like number one complaint, Sunny Isles Beach, traffic. Number two, post office. It's consistent, it's frustrating, and the good news is this is a 5-year countdown to something else. So it is what it is. But it's not us. Please understand that it's not us. It's not a city office. It is federal. It's not city.
It's not us, and we need it. Whether we like it or not, we have a lot of residents that send things internationally, large packages, and getting over to North Miami Beach is not an option. I will remind everyone that it's a post office store, so if you go in and put your letter inside, it takes about 5 days longer than if you put it in the box outside. Just letting you know. This is all right. I need a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
9X.
A resolution approving a purchase and sale agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and Arthur Makuzmov and Christina Kakuruyeva.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is for the purchase of the property located at 225191 Terrace. Whereas you know we have our Golden Shores Park. This is at the end of the park, which would be the west end of the park, and as required, we did receive 2 written appraisals. I initially made an offer subject to your approval, as this is subject to your approval, and they countered. We went back and forth, but what you see now is the latest negotiation between us, but it was crafted in the documents from Alan that it's subject to your approval. Our plan is the property is actually worth a little bit more being vacant than it is with the house on it now. So our plan would be just like we did with Le Richelieu, demolition the property and expand our footprint of our park.
Okay. Do we have public speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any comments or questions from the commission?
I have a question, because like everybody here probably, I don't like surprises either, and I just learned about this Sunday when the agenda was published. And so since when is this negotiation being going through?
This has been going on for a couple of months.
Okay, like I said, I don't feel comfortable. We never were even informed that this was going on. If I'm not mistaken, this house is in front of the mayor's house, right?
To the side.
Yeah, exactly. So what is the plan for this lot?
The plan for now would be if you authorize the purchase of it, we would demolition the property, so it would be an open space. Then our goal is to acquire any other companion properties near the park and then bring back to you a plan for development of the entire area. But for now, until we bring you back a plan, it would be just an open space addition to the park.
But that part doesn't even have parking. So I'm not for this buy.
Any other questions?
Is there any use for the, because I was thinking, you know, maybe that's later in this agenda about the oh my God, the Public Works building or whatever, that I guess, I don't remember what the use is going to be. But I'm wondering if there can be a use for the structure, given that it's right next to where we have our Public Works.
It's
Yeah, no, it's not like that.
No, I'm familiar. I know where the house is next to the little. It's right behind the Lehman, right? It's next to the Lehman.
Yeah.
the zoning of the area would only allow it to be a residential property, so we could not use it for an office or any kind of other use like that without some sort of change to our zoning.
Which we control. But anyway, that's not the idea, clearly, right? So I was just wondering if that was in the plans. But okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why we bought the Relishalu, or that's how you pronounce it. But in this case, I don't see, how, we already have a park there. It's a small park, but actually for the neighborhood, it's sizable, right? It's a pretty mellow park, shall we say, where I see kids playing. Sometimes I run by there, I walk by there, etc. And I just don't see what the benefit would be to purchase that house and develop or expand the park a little bit more. I mean, I think the park is already has a good size for the neighborhood. And I don't live in that neighborhood, but I'm not sure if the neighbors would want to have a more developed park in that area with parking, because obviously we'll have to have parking spaces and everything. So I failed to see the benefit as when we approved the other one that was adjacent to Pelican Park. So I'm not getting it. I'm not feeling it. Yeah.
I don't, did you want to say something?
I just happen to be privy to more knowledge than some of the other commissioners regarding the overall idea, and I'm actually not for it.
The only thing I think I would share with you, to speak to the Vice Mayor's point, it was either last year or the year prior, you allocated some monies to look at purchasing of additional properties. So my idea, because as you know, it sounds, but it's factual, there's no more land in Sunny Isles Beach. So what's happening, as you can see, especially from the areas of Golden Shores, people are purchasing vacant lots and building mega mansions. So if there is any opportunity anywhere in the city for me to enter into a negotiation to try to purchase a property, my goal would be to do that, bringing it to you as the ultimate authority, and you tell me yes or no. But if I don't pursue it, then the answer is always no. I mean, eventually this property will be purchased and built into some sort of mega mansion, which is happening now. So even if I would find, let's say, an interior lot within this area or another area of the city that's not adjacent to a park, I feel like it would still be a best practice to bring that to you just for merely purchasing it as open space, so that there's not yet another building going up in Sunny Isles Beach.
I would just like to add that this lot is
Sorry.
this lot is a good value for the price in order to expand the park to a certain degree. But the add-on to that, going further from what we both know that other people don't know, is not a good deal.
And let me also say regarding, because I heard some murmurings, that if this same philosophy was implemented 10 years ago, the cost of property has gone up, 10 times, 50%? The city would be in a much better financial position than it is now. So it's actually very prudent to do this.
So I just want to, I want to add that as far as parking is concerned for that park, it doesn't necessitate parking. And I think one of the issues with the park being passive, to your point, is that it's just not really useful. It's not, it doesn't have, it's just kind of there. So for me, adding to that park gives us the opportunity to add, tennis courts, add perhaps a track, because we have so many people that run through the neighborhood. This would allow for a very large track, dog park, whatever. Or if we decide we don't want it, I can tell you most certainly that in a year, we could probably
Absolutely,
sell it
double.
for twice the amount.
Yeah, exactly.
And the flooding in the neighborhood, it is, there's flooding because of the amount of buildings that we have there. So I am very much for purchasing any property that we can, even if it's just to leave it flat, so that it mitigates some of the buildings that we have around it.
If we want to build a track, we have a place to put it right now. It will be actually very large, and it's under the causeway.
I'm not
We
I'm
have-
not suggesting that we do anything. My point is that for us, for future commissions, for whomever, we allow more flexibility. I'm not giving any ideas. Like you said, it's very close to my house, so I certainly am not looking to put a dog park there, but if that's what the will would be, that's the will. My point is that if we have an opportunity to get real estate that we know that Sunny Isles Beach is probably the best place to buy real estate, why not? And then if we decide we don't want it, we sell it in a year.
Well, but the city business or the municipal purpose is not to own real estate. So, and I remember when we were having the conversation about the Intracoastal Park, it was a must that we have to have parking spaces. So everybody can come from anywhere and park in there and use the tennis court, the basketball court, etc.
Parking spaces there are a requirement because of the way that that it's owned by the state, not because this would be ours. We would determine it.
Well, exactly, which is my point, and we still have no parking spaces for the park, So I don't see.
Walking.
I don't see the municipal purpose of buying it. I don't see it. I think we can better use the money developing other areas, and if we have good places to buy property, like for example, to finish the whole block of the area behind Navarro, that we still need to buy that corner to own the whole block. So we should try to use that money to make a bigger offer and get the house. So if there are other places where we can put the money and not just buy any house. So if there is, for example, so are we going to try to buy the house of Botchol that is going to be in the market soon? It's a big corner open space that is going to be for sale. So are we just going to buy that because it's going to be in the market?
He told me he's going to gift it to us.
Okay, perfect. It's going to be a donation.
I
Which
think
is
that
my
you're
point,
not,
so,
that's not apples to
seriously.
apples. So please go ahead.
So
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
some additional
Disjointed.
comments. So in my opinion, we already have a park there. I think the landmass there is sufficient. It's pretty big, actually. We could build on that. And then we could take that 1.4 million, and I'd rather see that money being perhaps put into Heritage Park. I mean, we have a plan for that, making some sort of, we discussed building a sizable and inclusive, let's say, community center there that could, take care of a lot of the issues we have regarding activities and other, let's say, rooms and whatever we need to accommodate. So I'd rather see that and focus our efforts on that. Now, if we do have a lot where perhaps behind the Navarro where we could buy that duplex or whatever that building is there, that two-story building there, I'm all for it. But in this case, I just don't see it, because I think we already have a piece of land there that's sizable, and we could accommodate whatever we want to do. Perhaps we want to spruce it up and have it be more active, more inviting to the Golden Shores community or whoever wants to go there. That's perfect. But I don't see how purchasing that house and having that land there is going to really make a dent, to be quite honest with you. Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion for this?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second? No second? Item dies. Okay. 9Y.
Nine Y is a resolution approving the nomination of a vice mayor.
Okay, do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay. This is something that we do annually. We normally did it in December, but because we switched our meetings, then we no longer have a meeting in December. We were supposed to do it in November. I got to say that, you know, this has been interesting in the past years. There's been various administrations that have chosen to rotate, those that have had one person stay for, you know, the entire four years. I think that in order to allow everyone to have as much time as possible and really get a sense of what it is to run a meeting, I want to nominate Commissioner Lama to continue through the end of the year, and so that I can make a new nomination in November, and that person would have an actual full year. So that's my nomination.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I need a motion.
Can I make the motion?
You can make the motion, absolutely.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Congratulations. We don't need to buy new shirts. Okay, motions now.
Yes. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Vizcarra if you could restate the motion or expound on it a little bit. What we have is a motion to formalize the agreed upon legislative priorities based on the 3 o'clock meeting.
So you want me to clarify that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had the city manager put on the discussion regarding legislative priorities at the 3 o'clock meeting. We all talked about what we thought, you know, we wanted to see highlighted, and I think that our priorities fell into, I had 3 very broad categories, which were home rule, condo relief reform, and coastal and storm resiliency. I think that captured everything. And then we had the we had the scooters as a narrow, it's not a legislative priority in a broad sense, but we agreed to pursue the scooters and try to link up with other cities and to pursue that subject to see if we can make it anything legislative. We don't even know if that's, you know, if that's going to be, I doubt that that's going to be on anything that gets put on that becomes a bill, unless there's like a serious push for it. So I hesitate to call it a legislative priority, but I think if we can turn it into one, that would be something, because it is a problem here, and I'm personally tired of responding as, well, it's a state thing. It's not us. What can we do then? It's never going to be us, but maybe we can take it to the next level, or at least help advocate in that direction. So that's what I'm proposing. So this way, the city manager will have the authority to pursue legislation as it emerges, and as because it moves faster than we do on a monthly basis.
Before it even emerges.
So, you know, what that looks like remains to be seen. Like, it could be, you guys know, I mean, I've been putting out on my own, like, emails and things, but maybe that can become a city thing, or it can be a social post, like, hey, reach out to these people. I don't know exactly what it would look like, but they would have the authority to make those decisions without waiting for us on the 3rd Thursday, once half the issues are already resolved.
Okay, do we take public speakers for this, Mauricio?
Yes, we do.
Okay, do we have any?
There is none.
All right. Do we need to vote on it, or?
Yes,
Okay, I
please.
need a motion then for the motion.
I'll
So
make the
moved.
motion. I'll second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so,
Perfect, thank you. So
Oh,
now
and by
we're-
the way, I'm so sorry. Obviously, this doesn't prevent us from bringing forward bills that are of interest to us individually, right? We can still bring that to
Right,
the
right, right.
commission meetings. You can still advocate for the things that are important to you.
yeah, this would just allow the manager to get in front of it before any of us have to point it out. Okay, Citizens Forum, do we have speakers?
we do.
Okay.
The first one is Honorable Mayor Omar Nickerson.
Hello, sir, it's truly an honor to have you here. This is your first time, I think.
It is. It's my honor to be here. Hopefully this is not the last time. About a year ago, I started a new initiative called Connecting the County. Copy for all of you guys. North, South, East, and West. Over the past year, I've been going around and I've been visiting different municipalities, their meetings, going to events and things like that, because I feel like a lot of times in Miami-Dade County, the different municipalities, the 34 municipalities, we kind of stay like in our own zone, you know. Mayor Bovo calls me Hialeah's adopted second son, because I'm always over there and I'm always with Mayor Fraga and Doral, just as much as I'm in El Portal. This is my first time here. Some of you guys have seen me at Aventura events. I'm always in Aventura. But now I'm moving down to Sunny Isles Beach.
We were wondering why you didn't cross the
But now I'm
bridge.
moving on to Sunny Isles Beach. So I just feel like a lot of things that you guys spoke about, and a lot of times, you know, we kind of wonder how we can get things done quicker and things like that. But you would be so surprised at the best practices that you learn when you really like engulf yourself in all the other municipalities. And Miami-Dade County is so unique and it's so special because all throughout the county, even though we are one county, culturally and just geographically and with a lot of different beliefs just throughout the county in different areas, it's like you're in a whole different world a lot of times. So this is my first time here in Miami, in Sunny Isles Beach for Miami-Dade County. Also, it's important to me.
You were here last night.
I was here last night. Congratulations, Commissioner Joseph. Because what happened was when I went on to see when your meeting was tonight, on the calendar, I saw his event. I said, oh, I might as well just go ahead and pop up there. So it was great seeing you all last night. This is even more special coming up, you know, this summer, because this summer I do become the president of the Miami-Dade County League of Cities. I'll be back next month to speak more about that, because I'll be speaking to you guys about my gala and things like that. It's going to be the best thing you've seen in the past 20 years, guaranteed. I have so much stuff already lined up for that, but tonight I'm here for this to expand this. I do have some kosher goodies for you while I'm here. I'm not going to come empty-handed. Also, I do want to say that, you know, as a mayor, as the mayor of El Portal, I understand how it is for all of you guys to, you know, go through elections and be elected, and you guys should all be applauded for that. And it's important to me that, you know, we always have outreach, you know, from all other municipalities. So with that being said, I do have a gift for you also, Madam Mayor, that I'll give you after it's over and after you guys are done. And I have my kosher gifts here that you guys will all get. It's wonderful. It's not chocolate. It's a wonderful kosher gift. I look deep for these gifts, you guys. I went around deep for these gifts, but I'll have those back there. I don't want to interrupt anything and interrupt the flow of the meeting. But this is my first time here. It won't be my last. And
Thank
how
you.
You guys doing? Appreciate
Do
you guys. You guys are family.
give
Thank you
me
very much.
or give it to the clerk, the paper that you have?
I will. I have a paper. I have a copy for each one of you guys.
Okay,
so
thank you so much, Mayor. Really appreciate you.
Thank you very
You didn't
much.
have to wait till the end of the meeting, by the way.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your patience.
David Virgo.
Good evening again, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission. I just wanted to say I noticed that the image quality on the cameras looks much better now. I think you all changed them last month. I just wanted to say I think that's a great improvement and it's much clearer. So, yeah.
Thank you.
That's all.
Good.
We try to be clear.
Next speaker is Norman Edelcup.
Norman Edelcup, 244 Atlantic Isle, former mayor, city of Sunny Isles Beach, and a member of the Social Citizens. I'm here today to ask for justice for at least 24 students at our school whose artwork was destroyed through the efforts of the mayor. And so I'm asking this commission to consider censuring her because she had no authority to do so. I can give you all the facts as to what happened. I got a call last Wednesday from the principal of the school asking me what happened to the art wall. And I said, nothing that I know about. And he said, well, it's all gone. It's been painted over. And I said, let me check. And I called Renan Katz. Renan Katz mentioned to me that he had a meeting with the city. And I said, who in the city? And he said, the mayor. And he was instructed to repaint that wall and destroy all the artwork by the mayor. And with that, I also called Dan Morris and Susan Simpson, asked them if the city had been involved in this endeavor. And Stan got back to me and said, no, the city had nothing to do with it. At this point, like I said, there are 24 children who have lost their artwork without any explanation, not any warning as to why this took place. I think it's a severe injustice. I think it was very malicious. There was no reason to take down the wall. It's been properly maintained. I checked with Renan Katz and the principal, and they both want to continue doing it. Social Citizens is prepared to spend the money again to fix the wall and to maintain the awards that we've been giving out. We've been doing this for the last 10 years. Our mayor was on the board of Social Citizens and knew that this project was a project that Social Citizens had put together some 10 years ago. It's been very successful. A lot of the parents, a lot of the teachers, and of course the students enjoy that artwork. And to have it maliciously destroyed, I think, is a very insane act by our current mayor. So with that, I'll answer any questions anyone has. I've used up my 33 minutes at seconds, so that's it.
Thank you. We don't go back and forth.
No questions.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I would like to ask for an exception to that because I do have questions.
Sure.
How is the wall normally maintained? What is that process?
The process is that every 3 months we send a maintenance fellow
Who's
over.
we?
Social Citizens.
Okay.
Social Citizens has an arrangement with Renan Katz. The wall belongs to Renan Katz. Social Citizens went to Renan Katz. Actually, it was the Sunny Isles Beach Foundation before Social Citizens when I first left office, because that's when we created it. And Renan gave us permission to always continue to use the wall, and we promised that we would always maintain it. So we do every 3 to 4 months, checking wherever, if it's peeling, we have an artist come back and repair the wall so that the wall generally is in good condition. If anyone reports it to us that it needs to be repaired, we're out there to take care of it. We did not receive any reports that there was any problem with the maintenance of the wall. In fact, the last time it was maintained and painted was in November.
And you didn't receive any reports that it would be? Who painted it over?
Renan Katz's employees painted it over at the instructions of the mayor.
Okay, let me clarify. Do you still have time? Do you want to keep going? I don't want to take your time.
My 3 minutes are up.
Good.
I'm waiting to find out if somebody wants to.
I'm okay with extending your time.
Right.
Okay, so for clarification, and this normally I would not allow because I want to make sure that everyone gets exactly the same amount of time. And I don't want to give anybody anything more just because they're a former mayor or because they're Renan Katz so I for the record.
It's for the commissioner to
I
decide.
understand that, and
Right.
I also understand that you spoke to certain commissioners outside of this, so it's fine. For the record, of course, I was on that board, so I'm very aware of the program. I was also the president of the PTA, so I had a lot to do with the program. I'm actually the person.
PTA had nothing to do with the program.
I know that before it did. And for clarification, the children do not paint the wall. They never have painted the wall. The wall was in disrepair to the point where I was constantly from
Why
parents.
didn't you call me?
Let me speak.
Why didn't you call me?
Let me.
Can we have some decorum at least?
Yeah.
Can we follow decorum, please?
No. Let me finish. Your time is up. So I just want
No, my time isn't up as long as you keep talking to me.
Then you can sit down.
No, we're going to continue this.
No, we're not. No, we're not going to continue. We're gonna maintain decorum. This is not going to be an argument going back and forth. This is ridiculous.
I have questions.
We can ask questions separately, but I want to say for the record, that is absolutely not true what you're saying. I did not instruct Renan Katz to paint over the wall.
Why did Renan Katz say that you lied to him?
When I met with
Why
Renan,
did he
stop
say you
interrupting
lied
me.
to him?
Stop.
We need to follow regardless
you
of
do
what
not-
is said, we need to follow decorum.
Right.
Okay, so one person speaks at a time. If you do not speak, I'm going to have you removed. So my point is that this is wholly untrue, and not just inflammatory, it's slanderous. And to call me insane is very slanderous. These statements are so untrue, and the fact that you came up here and said these things without having any facts. I personally spoke to the principal many times, who had no idea why he even has that wall. He's never wanted the wall.
Not
When
true.
I spoke,
That's not
please,
true.
I'm giving you a warning.
No, you're making up a story that
Okay.
you expected us to believe. The principal has been involved in every one of the
I am calling
meetings
for
that
you
we've
to
had.
please stop.
You have not attended any of those meetings.
Please stop. In speaking with the principal.
No, because you're
in
trying
speaking,
to slant this in your favor.
Okay.
And I'm not going to let you do that.
Sir, we have decorum rules here. If
I
you
know we
choose
do.
not to follow them, I'm going to ask you to
If
leave.
you would have followed the proper rules, we wouldn't be here
The
today.
proper rules were followed.
If you would have contacted the right
I had
people, if you had a
absolutely no
problem with the
reason to
wall,
contact
you could have
anyone.
contacted anyone of us.
Stop.
and
I
we
had a
would have fixed it.
conversation with Renan Katz.
It's
and
not
I,
for you to have. You don't have the power.
I
You don't
did
have
not
the power to
instruct
order him to paint
He
that
was
wall
not
over.
instructed to do anything. Okay,
You
so
don't
we're going to
have-
stop. We're going
You
to stop.
instructed him. He
He
told
was not.
Danny was right there. Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Lou Thaler was there. We were all
All right,
there.
thank you. Your time is up.
Well, now that this has come to light, I have questions.
All right. We
And
have
I-
speakers first. Okay, so we're going to
That's
let
fine.
speakers speak. Do we have anyone?
Yes, we do.
Okay, next speaker, please.
Vitaly Falkovich.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the Commission, Madam Mayor. In the last couple of days, I got to do a business here. 9280 Southwest 167 Terrace, Palmetto Bay, Florida. As seeing several departments and seeing several employees shows an example of what amazing city this is, and that includes elected officials and city manager and senior commissioners, how they fight for the city. To me, this is a perfect example why I enjoy doing a business in the city of Sunny Isles Beach. And I have a lot of clients here, and I come up here, and this week I spend most of the week here, and I'm so appreciated, especially Sunny Beach Police Department and the building department. It shows a perfect example of the city manager, how to do business, and not having the heads of departments here, and I'm very appreciative able to doing a business here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have any other speakers?
Yes, Francisco Amador.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Francisco Amador, 1192 Southwest, 132nd Place
It's
Circle.
a little bit closer to the microphone, please.
Miami, Florida, 33184. I have a brief handout, if I may approach.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you can just give it to the clerk, and he'll.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here, oh, by the way, before I get started, to answer your question, Vice Mayor Lama, on 72nd Street in the city of South Miami, there is a 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. I was going to the Whole Foods Market, which I frequent, and they do have one, so you might want to contact the city of South Miami Beach about that. Very briefly, I'm an attorney. I'm licensed in the state of California. I practice bankruptcy law, and I do remote cases. I get cases from California, and I work them from my home office. I was in the Marine Corps at the age of 17, and I enjoyed the service very much. And so I decided to go full circle and attended Police Academy in 2019, passed the state officer certification exam. I worked as a police officer, and I understand now there are openings in this city, and I just wanted to come and present myself, Attorney Francisco Amador. I will be applying, and I just wanted to show the initiative and the interest in coming out and giving you my, I have a one-page website, amadorforjudge.com. That's AMADORFORJUDGE.com, not the number 4, you spell the 4. And the reason I still have that website is I did run for judge and I lost, but I didn't, they wanted to charge me a lot of money to change the domain name, so I just keep it and I put it in with my advertising for bankruptcy law in California. I'm not interested in running for judge or anything. I'm interested in being a police officer. I do want to come full circle. I've been practicing law for 25 years, and I really miss the service. I miss the camaraderie, and you'll be able to see some of my pictures there. And I hope that when my name comes across, as I'm sure it will, I'm sure you work in tandem with the police chief and the police department and the hiring of police officers, that at least you can put a face to the name, and that perhaps that way, I'm 65 years old, I'm on Medicare, I take Social Security. As you can see, I'm fit. I just passed the physical abilities test because I've been in fitness for 35 years, health, fitness, and nutrition. And I can save you a lot of money on insurance because I have Medicare, and I can work 2 days or 3 days or full-time, but by working part-time, I can save you a lot of money on insurance and everything, and it would just be a pleasure to join this force in this fabulous city, and it's been a blessing to speak to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the last speaker is Jeb Hadwerger.
Hi, my name is Jeb Hanwiger. I'm coming from North Miami Beach, 1091 Northeast 166th Street, North Miami Beach. I spend a lot of time in Sunny Isles whenever I want to go to the beach. I come here. I also go fish at the Newport Pier. I love this city. The reason why I'm coming tonight is because I've been the lead activist in North Miami Beach ever since we got guidance from our Surgeon General, our Florida Surgeon General, from the Department of Health, to lead the ending of fluoridation. And now, Tuesday night, it is up before the commission, the ending of fluoridation. Why does that matter to Sunny Isles Beach residents? Well, you're customers of NMB water. So it's important that you know the guidance from our Surgeon General. One of the reasons why Florida is leading the country, if you notice the new administration, many of them are coming from Florida, is because we took a proactive approach with health during the COVID crisis. That was under the leadership of Dr. Ladapo. And Dr. Ladapo is now guiding every community in Florida to end fluoridation. Why? Because there's a neuropsychiatric risk. There's been studies that have come out recently. If you have children or grandchildren, you need to read these studies. The fluoride that they are putting into the water is toxic, it's poisonous, it's a neurotoxin, it's destroying the mental health of not only children, of adults. And I'm leaving this here for the record. Robert Kennedy, who's our incoming Secretary of Health, says if we put the love of our children
Make that more important than the hate that we have with each other. That will be the answer for the future of this country. And we need to study the latest studies. Maybe fluoridation at one point, 50 years ago, like we thought DDT or cigarettes were once healthy. No, there's studies that have come out that ingesting fluoride just doesn't, it lowers your IQ, it affects women's health, it affects men's health, but the most vulnerable, and the residents should be listening, the most vulnerable are the pregnant women and the in utero babies. They get no benefit from fluoride, and they get all the damage that have come out in the recent studies that you can look at JAMA Pediatrics. So I asked the commission before the Tuesday night meeting to send out a resolution to the commissioners that you do not want fluoridation and you want to follow the Florida Department of Health and our leader, our Surgeon General, Dr. Ladapo. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any more public comments? Okay.
I would
Public-
like to make a motion to call back
No,
Mayor Edelcup.
no.
I have other questions.
Okay. So based on our procedure, okay, Mayor Edelcup, former Mayor Edelcup, already had his time. And this.
Well, we extended his time.
No, this is not the way that it works. This is not an agenda item. This is not for us to go back and forth.
I appeal the decision of the chair. So, and I call for a motion
A motion for what?
to appeal your decision and to allow him to speak.
Okay, procedurally, how would this work, Mauricio?
So, according to the code, and the city attorney can chime in and also add in, section 74, excuse me, let me just get to it, 7422 O says the suspension of rules, no rule or procedure adopted by this board shall be suspended except by an affirmative vote of 2/3 of the commissioners present. So you need 2/3 of the commissioners present.
Okay, so I'll make the motion.
Basically.
And I second it.
3 people?
Four.
For us, okay.
I make the motion, he second.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay.
I'd like to hear
Me too.
what's going on.
So there's your 4.
I didn't understand too well.
I'm going to let you come up, but you're going to keep to decorum. You're not going to make slanderous remarks because no one else is allowed to. So if someone has a question, they can ask you a question and you will answer.
I'm here to answer questions.
Okay.
I understand.
Go ahead. Commissioner Stuyvesant, you had a question?
No, I,
So, if you would please
Speak
start
into
from
the
the
mic,
beginning
Jerry.
as to what occurred with this wall.
Okay.
It's of my interest.
Last Wednesday, January 8th, I got a phone call from the principal, Mr. Schwam, saying, Norman, what happened to the wall? It's been painted over. Our artwork is gone. I said, I don't know anything about it. He said, well, Susan called me to tell me, Susan Simpson, called me to tell me that the wall had been painted over. And I said, that's strange. Let me call Renan and let me call the city and see if I can find out what all happened, because I'm not aware of what happened. At that, hung up with him. I called Susan Simpson, and she wasn't answering her phone at that point. So I called the city manager. Stan answered the phone, and I said, I explained to him what had been told to me, and I said, find out if the city had any issue here, and if the city had any issue, then let me know, because at this point, I'm not aware of why the wall should have been painted over. Then I called, and so Stan said he was going to be meeting with the mayor later in the day, and that he would get back to me. In the meantime, I called Renan Katz, and I said, Renan, why did the wall get painted over? And he said, because the city told me to paint it over. And I said, who in this city told you? And he says, it was the mayor, Larissa. And I said, I'd like to meet with you on Friday if I could, and I'll bring Lou Thaler with, who happens to also be the president of Social Citizens. So we set up that meeting for 2 o'clock on Friday. In the meantime, that evening, Stan and Susan called me to inform me that they had investigated my query, and it was their opinion that the city and they use the word, the city is not involved in any issue on the wall. And I believe Stan is here, so he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, in essence, I've kind of repeated what he had said, that the city was not involved. I didn't ask him the follow-up question, which of course I had in my mind, but that was, is the city also inclusive of the commission and the mayor? But I didn't ask that out of the proper decorum. I didn't want to put him on the spot. In the meantime, Friday came along. I went over to Renan's office with Lou Taylor, and again, we reiterated the issue, and he said, yes, Larissa, our city mayor, was over, and he said, let me call in Danny, his son. So he called in Danny. Danny came into the room, and I said to Danny, please tell us what happened at that meeting. Renan, your father is saying that the city had an order to have it painted, and the answer I got from Danny was Larissa is sitting right in that chair, and he pointed to the chair that Lou was sitting in, and told us in part that it should be painted over, that the city didn't have any, or that the school didn't want it any longer. And I said to Renan at that point, I said, I've already talked to the principal. He wants to continue to keep it going. Social Citizens is willing to keep it going. And he said, well, the opinion that we have been told, and he said, apparently I've been lied to, and he used those words, that the mayor said that it was no longer necessary. And I said, well, it isn't even her call. The wall belongs to Social Citizens. We pay $2,500 a year in either awards to the students or to maintenance of that building. We've been doing it for 10 years. We've invested over $25,000. And in addition, all the students expect to see their artwork out there because we promise them that it'll be there for at least 5 to 6 years until we rotate it around each time around. And we've been doing this for 10 years. Anyway, I said to Renan, do you have any problem if we continue doing it? He said, no, as long as you are maintaining it, we have no problem. I checked again with the principal, and I'm meeting with him next Tuesday. He wants to continue the program. And like I said, he told me he was unaware of why the wall had been painted over.
So the principal had no issue with the wall the way it was?
I'm sorry?
The principal had no issue with the wall the way it was?
No, but in fairness, he's never asked, but we, like I said earlier, whenever there's been a maintenance issue, we've been up there, and I can give you receipts of the work that was done for paint and labor to do whatever patching that needs to be done. And like I said, we do it every 3 or 4 months. Any time that it's ever come up, and it's come up maybe once or twice, we'll get a phone call from the principal saying, you know, have your maintenance people check it. We think it's peeling down here in the corner or something of that nature, and we've taken care of it. And like I said, the last time we took care of it was sometime during the month of November.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand what the issue was. And Ms. Mayor, may I ask you what the issue was?
So that we don't go on and on, because we don't have people here who you're referring to. And that wall has been an eyesore for years. I have pictures for many years, because what ends up happening is that once the new artwork goes up, the old artwork that's still there starts peeling. And so there's complaints that come in about the peeling. I have no idea what sort of arrangement you have, but from what the principal told me, and again, because the principal's not here, he can't speak to this, he had no interest in the wall. When I spoke to him last, I said, look, if you want to keep that wall because you want it for STEAM designation or whatever, I said, that's great, the city would support that, but it has to be done in a way that's going to look good. We have an ordinance that we do not allow murals. So it is not fair to allow someone to have a mural just because we've always had it. We made another property remove a mural that was done by an artist specifically for that reason. So this is consistent with what we've done in the city from when I've been elected. And I did not instruct anyone to do anything. When I had the meeting with Renan and Danny and Danny's son, I said to him, that wall looks really bad. It's looked bad for a long time. And he said, well, I can paint it. I said, that would be great. I said to him, the principal has indicated to me that he has no interest in maintaining it. When I spoke to the principal, I said to him, if you decide that you want to maintain it, call me back and let me know. He never called me back.
Why did you call me?
I did speak to him. If you've had subsequent conversations with him, that's fine.
No.
If you're, one second, if your reason here is to come here and try to create embarrassment and drama and a show, you've succeeded. However, if what you want is to allow the children of the school to participate in an art contest, it should be an art contest that allows all the children to participate, where the actual children can paint on the wall, not the art teacher who's being paid to paint.
The children are painting it on the wall.
No, they're not.
You just don't have the facts. The children have been painting it for the last 4 years.
Let me finish.
Previously, it was
there's no
reproduced.
reason for us to
No,
be going back and
because
forth.
you're trying to create an episode.
I'm not trying to
that
create
tries to
anything.
defend your position.
I am not.
You have no
This is not-
position.
this is-
You had no right to
Here we
destroy
go
the
again.
wall.
We have decorum, please.
Right.
Okay.
You're not lying, Larissa.
Okay, first of all, let me finish. I am being very respectful to you and allowing you to finish. So let me finish.
Sure.
If the purpose is, which I understood it's always been, to encourage art at the school, then I'm a complete supporter of it. However, it has to be done in a way that's consistent with the rest of the city. It is not fair that certain people get to put murals on the wall and others don't. If we are now allowing murals on the wall, which I actually support, let me finish, then everyone should be able to put murals on a wall. If this is something that we're going to maintain, it has to have consistency and it has to have rules. You can't just use paint that's going to peel. I have photographs.
What gives you the right to take a wall without even contacting the people that are responsible for the wall? To discuss it.
Okay.
You didn't. Did you pick up the phone
We're
and call
maintaining
me?
decorum here. So if
Did
you choose to break
did you
decorum,
call?
I'm not going to engage with you.
You went straight to Renan and had the
That was
wall
not the
taken
purpose
down.
of my meeting at all with Renan.
I mean,
This is very painful to experience all over again. It's not an eyesore. It's never been, it never will be. The art of the children is not, art in general is not an eyesore. And when it's done by the children, it's even more important. This is very consistent, and you opened the door when you said that you were the PTSA president. Yes, and you were the responsible for the $22,000 waste of
Okay,
towels.
so here's no, we're not going to do this. This is not city business. That is absolutely not city. No, you don't.
I make
This
a
is not-
motion
this is
again
not city
to
business.
continue speaking.
This
we
is
need
not
to
the purpose
vote.
of the city.
Okay, so I'm going to proceed. Anybody has anything else to say? Jennifer or Alex?
I'd like to hear you. I'd like to hear you finish what you have to say.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion, no? I'm going to make a motion to censor the mayor for requesting the children's art to be erased from the Arcade Plaza art wall. Her behavior violates the principles of ethical governance expected of her office. A formal censure is necessary to hold the mayor accountable, reaffirming our commitment to ethical leadership and ensure that such conduct is neither ignored nor repeated. This action is necessary to uphold the integrity of the governing body. I know Mayor Edelkoff for many, many years. I never, ever see him lying to me or to anybody else. So for me, what the mayor is saying, I'll take it to the bank, not the other way around. So yes, I will make a motion to censure the mayor.
And I'll second it.
I think that it's really abhorrent to use this body and this dais to attack me for no other reason but for the purpose of attack. You do not have all the facts. When I say it's an eyesore, I absolutely do not mean it's the art of the children, because I was very involved in getting the children to paint it. I'm talking about the upkeep. It has been peeling, it has holes in it, there's garbage all around. It is disgusting. Any day you walk by, there's garbage everywhere there, and the paint is peeling. So,
what does garbage have to do with the wall?
Because it invites more garbage when you have a painting wall and you have holes there.
I will go to
Students' art
paint it.
invites garbage?
Yeah, I will go paint it to maintain it.
That is not what I said at all. My point is that when something is not kept and it is an eyesore.
It was upkept.
It was not upkept.
I have a question.
You
Look,
can't be there every day.
we're not going to go back and forth on this, okay? So
Sorry.
you made a motion, you made a second.
Yes, I have a question though, because you just said that you were involved with having the children paint the wall. So, but now you're objecting to the mural.
Absolutely not. I'm not objecting to the mural. What I'm objecting
you
to
said
is to
you
have
were
different
objecting
rules
to
for
the-
different people.
Yeah, you
So
said that was your
if
reason
we
for
as
having
a
it
body,
whitewashed
if we as
was
a
because
body,
you were objecting to the mural.
It's
Stop.
not, it's never been a city project.
Again, as your parliamentarian, I'm just please speak one at a time. Decorum, please.
Yes.
It's not a
So
city
you had
project.
said that you were responsible, partly responsible, for having the children paint the wall. But now you're saying that you're objecting to the mural, and that's why you had it whitewashed.
no. First of all, I didn't have it whitewashed, and I'm not objecting to the mural. I'm objecting to keeping something in disarray, and I'm objecting to having rules for one person that is not consistent with everyone else. If we had a business owner who spent a lot of money putting art up that was done very well, that was upkept, that did not have any peeling, and we as a city made them paint over it because it was against our code, then we certainly should not be allowing someone else to have a mural up.
Well, if it was
When-
against our code, why was it authorized in the first place?
I have no idea. My point
But
is,
you were partly responsible for it being authorized.
no, absolutely not. It wasn't partly responsible. What my point is that when this was a huge project and the art was being painted by, I guess, I forgot the man's name. What's his name that used to paint it? I forgot his name. He used to paint the children's art. I suggested to Norman Edelcup, I said, you know, it would be better if the kids can actually paint it. That didn't happen because there was all these issues of we can't have the kids in the sun, we can't have them this, we can't have them that. The art teacher then said, all right, I will paint it for whatever nominal fee, whatever you're paying for. And so I'm not going to argue back and forth, okay?
But the last
I
5
think
years,
that
children
it
have
is-
been painting it.
it
You
is-
are not aware of it, but the kids.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not the
Norman,
art teacher, it's
Norman,
not
it is
somebody else. So
inaccurate.
why are you
It is
confusing
inaccurate.
the issue?
It is absolutely inaccurate to say that
You're
I would ever
confusing
be.
the issue.
Stop. It is completely inaccurate to say that I would ever be against art in general, considering.
You're the one that destroyed the art.
Okay.
You are the one that
This is breaking
responsible.
decorum. I'm not going back and forth with you.
Of course not, because you're defensive.
Stop.
You
Absolutely
know
not.
you've done something wrong. You know you tried
Stop.
to do something that you got caught
Stop.
on. That's what's happened.
Stop.
Well, I'd like to know, was there any communication with the principal, with the school principal? Was he aware that it was going to be painted over, or I'm just trying to understand exactly what happened and get the facts.
Well, he was surprised when he called me, so apparently he didn't know.
That's not what the principal said to me.
Okay. All right, so I want to get the facts straight. I'm going to talk to the parties involved and do my research. But yeah, definitely I feel bad for the kids. If they were not aware of whatever transpired, is just not right. Obviously the wall, from what I understand, I mean, you had the artwork that was painted from the artist. I met him at the luncheons. And then the strategy changed, right? The way it was done, it was changed that where the kids will obviously submit
5
their
years
artwork.
ago, we changed it to
I know,
let the
I
kids,
know. So,
because the teacher was willing to spend the time out
yeah, and you
there.
had you had the
Right.
rectangles. They would get a rectangle and
Right.
they would paint. So, but yeah, all right, I just need to get more information on this, and
That's all I'm
because I
really
hear different
asking.
things. So yeah, before I can make.
Yeah,
I
the only
need to
reason
get
I'm
more
before this
information.
commission, because it's the only place I can go to register my disbelief of what happened and ask you people to conduct your own investigation and, if necessary, do whatever penalty you feel necessary, if any, to the mayor. That's all I've ever asked for, because the parents and their children deserve an answer. I mean, somebody has to tell the parents why their children's artwork was taken off the wall. I don't know who's going to have to do that. You know, it's a
Have
shame
any
that it's
parents-
happened that way.
Have any parents raised any issues right now?
It's just happened last week.
It just happened
Yeah.
last week, okay.
And what's the
Was there
problem is,
communica-
we have already have a meeting with the principal and the art teacher to select this year's contestants for this year's wall, because they normally start in February, as you know, and then we have a ceremony in May where the children actually sign their artwork on the wall. So what I wanted to make sure was, if we are to continue doing this, that I don't have the wall repainted again. And so that's why I went to Renan and to the teacher and say, do you want us to continue doing this? I understand that the city doesn't have an ordinance covering murals, but the city has looked the other way for 10 years on this. And certainly, if it's necessary, the city could do what it needs to do to correct its ordinance to permit an art wall for the students. Certainly, that's within your own power.
I know that we've had a celebration year after year to
Right.
come out and see the wall.
Right, the parents come, the teachers come, people from the administration of the school board come. The children actually sign their work on their artwork on the wall. They have their pictures taken, and it's an annual event with refreshments. That again, we've never asked the city for $1 to do this.
No, you did. It's an in-kind donation.
And like I
And
said, the mayor was
for
part
the
of
record,
that.
absolutely. And for the record, I am absolutely in support of having art
And it
around
wasn't-
the
I tried
city
to call you
with
that day, too,
children
and
or
you know,
or
didn't
anyone.
respond.
But Commissioner Vizcarra, you have the last word because we need to finish this meeting.
Are we entertaining the motion?
Yes.
And Alex, you said you wanted to get more information?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult. This is a difficult one. I do think that even based on the accounts, it's pretty clear that if you have a problem with something, you don't take it upon yourself, right? You take it to the city manager, and then the city manager goes to code enforcement or whatever, and we address it that way. It does sound like you overstepped your boundaries. But I'm also with the vice mayor that I haven't spoken to the principal, I haven't spoken to Renan, and so this is literally, you have your first person account, but then the rest is hearsay, and
This is the only way I could start the conversation.
I'm not upset about that. I think I completely understand, but then we're in hearsay territory too. I would feel more comfortable confirming your story and revisiting, because if I'm able to confirm it and I see that it is as you say, I would absolutely be comfortable voting to censure. Does that sound fair to you, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, with that, the meeting's adjourned.